Haven't been here in 5 weeks. Somebody's parked in my parking spot. Well, that's an outrage.
That would piss me off.
5:15 in the morning. What the heck?
Yeah, I'd have that car blocked in right now. They wouldn't even be leaving.
The problem is they'd know who's blocking it in. They'd come up here. They'd bang on the door. I can't go anywhere till 10. Besides, Mark, cause a scene like that in a condo development. My goodness.
Cummings, Dr. Roto.
I just want to get back into the condo first before I cause a scene like that.
He was just talking to me about the Tigers, like I actually watched them in the last 5 years.
I know. I heard you say you got Evden.
I am thinking about watching the Red Wings this year.
Trent says do it. The man that has hope right there.
They're on the cusp of being a playoff team again.
That's the Red Wings thing. Throwing
Just throw an octopus on the ice.
That's amazing.
I don't know, man. They like.
Did you hear the D-backs manager at postgame?
No. Torey Lavello? No.
He let about 8 F-bombs go. We're going to effing party. We're going to effing this. We're going to an effing team and effing. I mean, they just bleeped the whole thing out. It was fantastic.
Was this like being interviewed live? Or
no, this was his locker room speech.
Gotcha.
Cameras in there. I mean, he let 5 F-bombs go.
Do you want to go? We're a day late with National Taco Day, but how do you like your tacos? So, soft or crispy? Or hard shell, soft shell?
I did have tacos for dinner last night. Let's see. See if there's something today on the National Day calendar.
I am so excited to be connected to an Ethernet that's working. My God. I got up at 4:27.
Not this time, technology. David wins. Let me not jinx it, though. Let me not jinx it.
Survives. David survives.
Knocking on wood.
David has never beaten technology. David's allergic to technology. Roger, I'll see you out there on Sunday, baby.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. Can it be the baseball hour if the baseball season's over? How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. I'm very excited. All right, a little behind the scenes. I've been in an Airbnb for 5 weeks with horrible internet. You probably could tell because I've been able to stay on the air constantly. I'm in a war zone known as my condo, which is still a week or two away from being done. But you know what it has? It's got working internet. Yeah. See, I had been operating like the Rays and the Marlins in the playoffs, but now I'm like the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. I'm ready to go. That's what you're dealing with this morning, Mark Miller. Yeah, that's right. I've advanced to the divisional round. I'm fired up. Got my pitching lined up. I'm ready to go.
Good morning.
And to you too, sir.
Wow, he's fired up. It doesn't take much at this age to fire a man up, but apparently working internet will do it.
Not this time, technology.
Well, we're very early in the show for any of you to make accusations like that.
Knocking on wood, of course.
Listen, you're so right. Okay, approaching 58 years of age, and Ethernet cable that when you plug it into the laptop, it works. Man, that's like a top 3 life event lately. Oh, I'm so excited. I got up at 4:27 in the morning to enter this war zone.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, I know, but that's just because you can't sleep. See, I can still sleep.
No, I mean that's been my alarm is set for 4:20 something. That's when I get up. That's the wake up time. I don't have the convenience of rolling out of bed and turning the machine on and saying, oh, hey, look I'm ready for work.
I know that 37-second drive that you have. 3 minutes if you use your golf cart. That's true. That's true. I know it's an inconvenience. I know. But hey, at least your technology works. All right. Or is that what we're calling it these days? Anyway. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. I really was hoping for a couple of game threes. I didn't care which game threes there were. I was hoping that the Marlins and Rays would pull it off, but you and I have talked about this for nearly 20 years. When there are games with consequence, they just matter more. They mean more. They're more exciting. They're more fun to watch. And yesterday, 4 teams had games with consequences. Win or your season's over.
Right.
And none of them could do it. Not one of them could do it.
Nope.
Which I found amazing that we had 4 sweeps in these games.
Yes. If we'd put the over-under at a half in terms of how many game threes we'd have, we'd all be broke today because we would have bet, come on. At least going to be one. I mean, one of the 2 home teams will win, right? Brewers or Rays? No. Not only that, I mean, not a ton of drama even in the 9th inning of these games. I mean, the 2 games were 7. Rays and Marlins, please. They got whacked. Got whacked in the series. All right. And you never thought the Blue Jays, who, by the way, that young core, they've yet to win a playoff game. Vlad Jr., Biggio,
Vlad
Bichette.
Jr. is going to have a long off season.
Well, yeah, you mean
getting off second base when your team's trying to rally. That is just a bad look.
You mean really? You got bases loaded and you're down 2 and you get picked off second? You're saying that's not good?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but also, something to keep in mind just going forward, not this year, but in future years, like how you end the season. Arizona staggers into the playoffs with 84 wins. They got swept in the last series. I think they entered the playoffs on a 4-game losing streak. Milwaukee had a red-hot September. Yeah, Arizona just went to Milwaukee, won 2 games by 3 runs each. I mean, it's playoff baseball. Any damn thing can happen. That's why it's like a chip in a chair in poker. Just get in the damn thing. Who knows what's going to happen? Hey, Arizona's the 6th seed. You know who the 6th seed was last year? The Phillies. They were up 2-1 in the World Series. It's baseball.
But, David, there's a bigger issue at hand than it's baseball. Was yesterday the end of what has been a magical Florida year?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I mean, going back to the Final Four.
Right. Hell, even if you want to count the Jags, okay, and then their run at the end of the 22 in January of 2023 to win the division, the 4-touchdown comeback against the Chargers in the playoffs, that was all in January. Then FAU, Miami men, Miami women going to the Elite Eight. Hell, the Division II team, Nova Southeastern, winning the national title. Hell, we can count the junior college in Southwest Florida.
Exactly.
They've won, 2 national titles, right? Like basketball, volleyball, and softball, for goodness sakes. I mean, we're just naming national championships here. The Gators won 3 national titles, for goodness sakes, in the spring.
And then obviously the Heat with a great run. And it wasn't about necessarily winning championships. It was deep runs for your teams.
FSU softball got to the finals. I mean, let's just smoke them if you got them here. This list is huge. Looks like the checkout counter at a Costco. Man, that's a big receipt. No. Say it ain't so.
Just wondering.
Does this
Because the
mean
NFL playoffs don't start until 2024, David. They don't count on this list.
I think it's over. It's safe to say it's over.
Messi,
unbelievable.
Oh, what else is there?
What do you mean,
Seriously.
what else is there? There's
Seriously.
football. If Florida State's undefeated in the top 5, the Canes are undefeated in the top 15, damn near.
That is true. They could still win the ACC. Either one of them could still win the ACC.
Hell, they could play each other in the ACC championship game. Wouldn't that be nice once in our lifetime? Because that was supposed to happen every other year.
Right, and
Right.
Lord knows how long there is left in the lifetime of the ACC.
Exactly. Can we have it once? Oh, no. You're not telling me the Dolphins are going to lose to the Giants, for goodness sake.
No. Come on now.
No,
I'm not
no.
saying I'm not going nuts here. I mean, let's just pump the brakes. What I am saying is this the end of the
Postseason runs.
No. No. No, it is not. No. You know who controls the NFC South? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you know which team the other teams in the NFL are stealing plays from? The Miami Dolphins. No. It's not over. Gonna sound like Belushi here soon.
Yeah, you are.
It's not over until we say it is.
Well, that's what I'm suggesting. Is the playoff run over? Did it end last night?
No.
Because there really will not be another playoff in 2023. There's no playoff games that are going to occur between now and the end of the year. That was it. It's over. It was a magical Florida run. It ended yesterday.
Well, the other thing is, if you look at the NFL schedule, like the Dolphins could go on a hell of a run here. But when does their final 3 games start? Christmas Eve. And it's a doozy. I mean, don't they end with like Dallas, the Jets, and Buffalo? I mean, their last 3-4 games are like, oh, snap. Don't do this to me, Mark. We still have conference championship games. They're in December.
You're right.
Okay? You can make teams will be awarded playoff spots when? In December. Okay? Don't do this to me, Mark. Do not tell me in the first full week of October that this glorious run is over. We have a quarter of the year left.
I'm just saying.
Besides, the
one of these
Marlins
teams-
making the playoffs is damn near the equivalent of FAU going to the Final Four, okay?
It's damn near the equivalent. Getting out of the wild card round may have been the equivalent.
They were due. They had never lost a first-round playoff series before, not even in the pandemic year. They were due. KW in their Twitch chat room, the fat lady is on the stage. Well, send her off stage left, damn it. Go have a snack and sit down, young lady. What do I sound like, Rex Ryan here? Let's go get a damn snack.
You are fiery. You're punchy this morning, David.
Don't tell me it's over. I just got working internet, for goodness sakes. You're telling me it's over? Can't be over? Me and technology are just canoodling, for goodness sake.
Canoodle, well, you're going to need technology because you're going to lose Florida sports teams. That's what I'm telling you.
Say it ain't so.
A lot of this rides on FSU now. You are right. A conference championship game is in December. That's the last beacon of hope.
Come on, Florida State and Miami. I mean, you know, I try to have some faith in Billy Napier, but he could choke the life out of any offense. So, man, tell you what, did a guest appearance on a Gator radio show last night. They are hostile. Man, they are not happy.
Yeah, getting whooped by Kentucky will do that to you.
I understand, but it's like that Tennessee game was 3 years ago. I mean, that's
What have you done for me lately?
yeah. Yeah, ain't kidding. Oh, and not only that, you know, to further make the case that you're making, hell, Inter Miami lost last night because Messi's hurt. They ain't making the playoffs. Yeah. This October month so far sucks. Lee Sterling says it's Locktober. It is nothing. It's Sucktober so far.
There are no tricks, David. There are no treats thus far. There is a lot of emptiness in early October for the Florida sports fan. They've got the Knowles, they've got the Canes, but the Dolphins got pounded. And now that the little reality check. They've got the Bucks.
Hey, they won in October. They did. That was October 1st. That counts. They're in first place in October, Mark. You burst my bubble.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right, let's make sure we let Trent do at least an hour today with you over his back instead of because I want him to be comfortable by the time the day ends. What about who has the best shot to win their division? Bucks, Jags, or Dolphins? Bucks or Dolphins?
Trent
Bucks or
confidently saying
Dolphins?
Dolphins. Interesting.
Bucks or
Huh?
Dolphins?
Trent confidently said Dolphins.
Ooh.
Like I don't. It's more like
Take it easy there, big fella.
Probably the Jags, actually. That's probably the right answer.
I think it's the Jags.
That's why I wouldn't put them on there.
Yeah.
But no.
No, Wes, no. Besides, they got those two big crowds to take that money and put it in their pocket.
Take a guy out in the fourth inning. The fourth inning.
Elimination games.
Yeah.
Hell,
Move
these,
work.
they're only wanting to keep these guys in through 5 as it is. They don't even want them to go through the lineup the third time. So they're. Is Kevin Cash in trouble? That's freaking hysterical. He won 99 games with 20 guys on the IL. Yeah, Wes, I'm glad that the crowds were what the crowds are because now we can end this pretense. Also, I got something for you coming out of the break. I was actually thinking about this yesterday.
So I will tell you, and it's not that big of a deal. I just want you to hear this. There's an echo because you had no furniture in the room.
I know.
If you're going to stay there in that situation, I don't know if a blanket to the wall in front of you. You
Okay.
don't have to do it now. Just get through today's show. Don't do anything today.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do that though, because I got nothing to hang it on.
We'll grab 2 nails and a hammer.
Oh, but I don't want to do that.
It's because it's an Airbnb. I get
No,
that.
he's in his
Oh
place.
no.
Oh.
Grab 2 nails and
Because I don't know. With the whole room empty, I don't know if it'll do any good. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I know.
But the internet's crisp.
Oh, it's great.
Very
Yeah.
crisp.
Yeah. It's the highest speed Comcast Xfinity internet. I pay for it.
Hey, this might be a stupid question, Mark, but are you at least a little happy for the Twins?
No. I did feel really badly yesterday, though. I was hitting golf balls, and they're coming back. The people, they're starting to arrive. And one of my favorites, I had the baseball game on because I've got a big speaker in my cart. So I had the game on while I was hitting balls so I could hear it on the driving range. And Sharon Doyle, it's one of the sweetest women in the world. She just got back, and I said, I'm like, hi. And she's like, what, is that the Twins game? I said, no, that's the Rays and Rangers. When's the Twins game start? Because she's from Minneapolis. And I said, I think they start any minute now. Oh, I got to go home and watch that. And I really felt badly for a minute because I said that about her team. It went away. But for
They
a
are
minute,
the nicest people.
whatever.
Minnesota nice.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Sorry for the echo. I'm in my refurbished condo, which looks like a war zone because we needed working internet because the Airbnb I've been renting sucks. So the good news is we're on the air. We're going to stay on the air. The bad news is it sounds like we're in the Lincoln Tunnel at 2 a.m. Oh, well, sorry. I mean, if it's not one thing or another, it wouldn't be the Florida Sports Network, right, Mark?
Got that right, David.
Listen, I don't want to say that, people overreact or anything. I mean, in football world, we call it overreaction Monday, but there are people in our Twitch chat room who are now saying, maybe the Rays need to get a new manager. You're right. 99 wins with 20 guys on the IL. God, man, we got to be able to do better than this.
60% of your starting pitching.
Right. Yes. Yep. It's his fault that they can't hit in the postseason. Yep. How about get a couple of bats?
Got to put the blame on someone, I guess.
Yeah, man. How about the players? How about there? Can we go there?
How about blank happens? You got banged up all year long. You worked your tail off to get to the postseason. The Rangers had a really good team. I think they had the top 2 run differentials in baseball this year. The Rays and the Rangers.
In the American League, I think you're saying.
In the American League, sorry. Yeah.
Right.
These were 2 good teams, and the Rangers hit. The Rays didn't.
Well, and Montgomery and Evaldi shut them down. And the Rays' big 2 didn't. Ball game. But this is now 3 straight postseasons in which the Rays have not hit. And that, I think, is the troubling part. 3 straight postseasons where, for whatever reason, the Rays lineup in October has not, certainly the last 2. And it's pretty much the same group. So now that will be interesting. Do they have to swallow hard? Kind of like the Blue Jays, Mark, are going to have to, are we going to have to unload one of these Guerreros, Bichettes, Biggio guys? I mean, it's all cute, the sons of major leaguers, but the fact of the matter is we can't even win a damn playoff game. I mean, do we have to start trading some guys?
Boy, I'm not doing a whole lot of changing. I'm going to take my chances getting into the postseason every year and seeing what happens. I can't sit there and go, I mean, this is, you brought it up yesterday. This is the Lions. They get Jim Caldwell. They have 3 straight winning years. And the Lions say, you know what? Damn it. This just isn't good enough. We've got to get better.
Right. This is the Bears getting rid of Lovie Smith after 10-6.
Yeah, it is. And to make change for change's sake, the object of the game is to get to the where? To the postseason, and then to win the World Series. Can't win the World Series without getting into the postseason. They've made their regular season strong each year. This year, I don't know how you can look at anything and just say, let's run it back with the injuries that happened, with the fact that your franchise player apparently is a bad human being. And he's done. I mean, think of what went wrong for the Rays this year, and they still won 99 games.
In the AL East, too. Cupcake division. Kind of like the NL Central and the AL Central. I mean, just real easy going. I'm with you, Mark, of course. I mean, I totally agree. It's complete overreaction, lose your mind Thursday is what that would be. But, the other factor, which I'm just going to throw this out there, if you're the city of Tampa, do you call the Rays and say, hey, take our name off the team? You guys are the St. Pete Rays. They're the Miami Marlins. They're the St. Pete Rays. We don't want to have anything to do with 19,700 and 20,198. Don't besmirch our good name, okay? Just be the St. Pete Rays, because that's clearly what you are. Because there were 37 people who made the trip from Tampa to the playoff games. Okay, so how about if you just from now on, you're the St. Pete Rays? And we'll watch.
Would be ironic if they went to the Florida Rays.
See, that doesn't have the same ring to it as the Florida Marlins.
I understand that.
But I mean, the
Neither
Marlins.
is the St. Pete Rays, for the record.
Right. But the Marlins just decided, the hell with Fort Lauderdale. Okay. West Palm Beach and what have you. No, we're the Miami Marlins. Okay. We're going to be what we are. Stick our chest out. Yeah. Oh, you guys are, no, we're Miami. Oh, listen, the Rays decided they're St. Pete. So be the St. Pete Rays. You know, Tampa's got the hockey team. Tampa's got the football team. St. Pete's got the baseball team. Yeah. Be the St. Pete Rays. And Tampa go, whew, man, don't make us look bad. 19,700 for a playoff game. Are you kidding
Well,
me?
they get over 20,000 yesterday.
That's right. Another 490 people showed up at the ballpark yesterday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was a must-win. Facing elimination. Yeah. Did you hear Sean McDonough yesterday? He wouldn't refer to it as a crowd. He even joked. Called it like a gathering or something like that. Said it's not big enough to call a crowd.
Did you catch the shot? I think it was like the 7th inning that they slowly panned out of one dude sitting in the upper deck with just no one next to him, no one near him, on an entire section that was essentially empty.
Yeah, that was
depression
right there. That's ESPN ABC saying, you know what, we're taking shots at these guys.
Oh,
now.
they were taking shots at the Marlins too.
That's a cheap shot, though. That is, because the fact of the matter is that they don't normally sell seats in the upper deck. Okay, they opened up the upper deck, hopeful that more fans would show up. So sure enough, there were only 200-300 people in the upper deck to begin with. Okay, but yes, and in fact, Sean McDonough did say, "Well, Bob Uecker's at the game." That goes back quite a long ways.
Long way.
And the Miller Lite commercial, and he was sitting, and they filmed it at Dodger Stadium, and he was all alone in the top row of an empty section. The Uecker seats, as they called them.
You know how old that reference probably is?
It's got to be 40 years.
Exactly.
Enough to where I don't understand it.
Well, but then again, it's a baseball audience. So the majority of the people watching knew the reference.
No, I'm with you. And it hit
Bob,
me how old baseball was. I went to the driving range. I had the game on I have a speaker on my golf cart, and I'm listening to the Rays game, hitting a few balls, and they're starting to come back, David. The Northerners are starting to arrive.
you're darn right. It's October.
Oh, boy. And sweet lady. I said hi to, I hadn't seen her. You know, she just come back. I'm doing my hi, hello. And she says, "Ooh, what game do you have on?" And I said, "I've got the Rays and Rangers." She goes, "Not the Twins?" I said, "They haven't started yet," because she's coming down from Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it hit me, is that just how old the baseball audience is.
Mm-hmm.
When a lady in her 70s is like, "Ooh, is the game on? I'm ready. Get this sucker started."
And do you feel badly for hating on the Twins the way that you did yesterday when their fans are so nice?
I really did. Because I really like this person. She is a sweet, sweet lady. Really like her husband. Two of the nicest people I know.
Of course, they're from Minnesota.
Still hate the Twins.
No, you don't. Download yesterday's show and enjoy group therapy with Mark Miller. That's what the first half of yesterday's show was, all because of the 87 Twins.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Yeah, hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
The euchre seats?
Now, you know who Euchre is, though, right? Do you know who Bob Euchre is?
I know the name.
Okay. I still think he does Brewers games. Yeah. Yeah, 84.
Beg your pardon?
That commercial, 1984.
There you go. Sitting here in the front row.
I didn't realize they did a statue for Euchre County Stadium, and he gets a statue. It's in the last row. They did a statue for him in the last row.
Throw out the first pitch before game one.
He's still announcing.
I know. He's like 89, isn't
Yeah.
he? I do think, Wes, that the Marlins would have had more than 19-7. If they were, but maybe not. But then again, if you're comparing yourself to Miami.
All right, we need a poll question.
Yes, we do. You want to do Bucks or Dolphins? Soft or hard shell?
I don't want to do the taco the day after tacos. We missed that one.
Any days today?
No. National Day calendar is National Apple Betty Day, National Get Funky Day, National Do Something Nice Today. That doesn't apply to our show. And National Rhode Island Day.
National Rhode Island Day.
Yeah. It's a small country. Rhode Island would kick its ass in a war.
By the way, they have the temperature on 63 degrees here.
You should be comfortable.
No, don't get me wrong. I like it. I'm just trying to figure out who's paying for it.
You.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's okay when Conrad Hilton's paying for it, but
Who has a better shot to win their division?
yeah. Bucks or Dolphins? I think most people say Bucks.
Hey, we got about 1 minute, gentlemen.
Thank you.
God, that's way too much advance notice.
Just play the music.
My apologies. Cut to the chase.
It's kind of like Joe Buck coming back from a commercial. If he's not there with 10 seconds left, get concerned.
He take off?
He goes to the bathroom every now and then. They were freaking out 2 games ago. They were freaking out in, where were we? Pittsburgh. Freaking out. Troy literally said to him, been doing this 20 years. He's always back. Relax. And they literally said, well, what are we going to do if he's not back? And Troy goes, Moulton will handle it. And we both start laughing. They're like, no!
5 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. 8 o'clock hours when the guests start appearing. Roy Cummings to talk Bucks. Dr. Roto in 2 hours to take your fantasy questions. Don't start sending them in now. We're not ready to write them down. Okay? Pace yourself. Midway through the 8 o'clock hour, go, Dr. Roto. Doc, make a house call. Fix my fantasy team. That's what we're here for every Thursday. Hey, week 3 of the shape up. And that means a poll question right around this time. What do you got?
We've got a poll question.
Okay.
We kind of blew it yesterday. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday was National Taco Day, and we probably should have had a taco-related question and didn't.
You think?
Because yesterday's question was about baseball. And it didn't work out that well because nobody, we were asking you which team down 0-1 had the best shot to win their series. None of them could force the third game.
Well, we said best shot.
Right. Turns out there was no shot.
Right.
But today, who has a better shot to win their division? The Bucks or the Dolphins?
Oh, look at that. They're both 3-1. One's in first place. One's tied for first place. Huh? I like it. Glad you didn't put the Jags on it.
Would have been too easy.
Right. It's the AFC South. Right.
And I think that would have run away with the vote.
I am curious whether or not the people think the Bucks are just off to a good start or if they actually think, for that division, that conference, it might be good enough. I mean, not to challenge San Francisco, Philadelphia, Dallas, Detroit. Take it easy now. Don't you think that's the next measuring stick for the Bucks? It's because they're off this week, right?
Yes.
And then they played Detroit at home. And Detroit's in like that second tier in the NFC. You got the top tier, and then the Lions are in that second tier going, hey, what about us? And we're like, we'll see. So the Bucks hosting the Lions in a little over a week. That's kind of Tampa Bay's way of saying, hey, what about us? So
I think the Bucks can win the division without even winning one of those games that says, hey, look at us.
I agree. I mean, it's the South. I mean, hell, they won it at 8-9 last year. I mean, if we said we'll give the Bucks 8-9 right now, where do you think they'll finish in the South?
You know what? That might be tomorrow's poll question. We might, because it's a great question. If the Bucks finish 8-9, where do they finish in the South? No worse than second.
I agree with that. I agree with. I've got to believe this year it's not good enough to win it, but who knows? If it's the right 8-9, it might be.
What has that division shown you that there's a team that can get to 9? You said it yourself. Atlanta with their quarterback play will not get to 9.
No. For all the talk of us wanting the Jets to trade for Kirk Cousins. If Atlanta had Kirk Cousins, they'd win that division by 3 games. Honestly, they'd cruise in that division. And Kyle Pitts might actually want to stay in Atlanta.
Yeah, he's going to really be underpaid to go somewhere else in a couple of years.
Yeah, a couple of years. Hell, I don't even know if he'll make it a couple more weeks with Ritter as his quarterback. He and his agent might lose their mind. Doesn't somebody in an offensive meeting go, we drafted this guy 4th overall. Don't you think we should give him the ball? No? Okay. All right, 18 minutes before the hour. Let's do this.
The starting 5. 5 stories you need to know. It's the starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Well, just like that, the baseball season in Florida is over. 2 and done. Started with the Rays. Man, they got outscored 11-1 in 2 games against Texas. And they didn't even score the 1 run till they were down 7-0 in the 7th yesterday. Texas 7-1 final. Nathan Eovaldi gave up 1 run in 6 2/3. By the way, 7th straight playoff defeat for the Rays. If you go back to 2021, they won the East, had a first-round bye, won game 1 against Boston, and then lost 3 close games. They actually scored some runs. Lost at home, went to Boston, lost like 6-4 in extra innings and 6-5. And that's it. They were done. That was like a 101 win team. So that's 3 losses in a row. Last year, they went to Cleveland in the first round, a 3-6 series, scored 1 run in like 25 innings, lost 2 games. And then obviously they just got outscored 11-1 here. 7 straight playoff defeats and 9 of 10 if you go all the way back to the World Series of 2020. So for as good as they've been in the regular season, they're in a bit of a postseason rut right now. And that's it. Next up for Texas, they go to Baltimore, baby. Hey, did you hear about the little scheduling? Not snafu, but they just had to work things out on Saturday, game 1, Orioles-Rangers. So obviously they're playing at Camden Yards. If you've ever been to Baltimore, a parking lot away is, B&T, whatever the Ravens Stadium is. And so Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks have a 7 o'clock concert there. And they literally moved the start time of the Orioles game to 1 o'clock.
Makes sense.
So, hey, thrilled that you guys are in the playoffs. Congratulations. Listen, you guys got to play at 1 and make it fast. Get the hell out of here. Because,
we're really watching the pitch clock for this one is what we're saying. We need to get
Right.
this sucker over with.
Exactly. 5 o'clock, I want this lot cleared, ready to go. And 7-1 was the score of the day in the Sunshine State yesterday because the Phillies said, we can do that to the Marlins. Sure. We'll score 2 in the 3rd. Real Muto will hit a solo homer in the 4th. And then how about if Bryson Stott just hits a slam in the 6th and we can just say goodnight, Irene. Marlins score 1 in the 9th just, because. And, that's it. Marlins got outscored 11-2 in the 2-game sweep by the Phillies. So the Rays got outscored 11-1 and the Marlins got outscored 11-2. Yeah, baseball season in the state's over. All righty then. Hey, at least the Twins won a playoff series for the first time in 21 years. Think about how old you were, where your life was in October of 2002, the last time the Twins had won a playoff series until yesterday. Yeah, a few things have gone on, right? Yeah. 2 in the 4th for the Twins, and Carlos Correa was the star. He had the RBI single to score the game's first run, and then he made a few excellent defensive plays. He threw behind Guerrero to pick him off. He started a big double play when the Jays had bases loaded, 1 out in the 5th. And next up for the Twins, Houston, the defending World Series champs, beginning Saturday. And I think that will be at night. I believe the Astros Twins are getting prime time. Sonny Gray, 5 shutout innings. And the Blue Jays, 9 hits and 2 walks. That's 11 base runners, and they couldn't score a run. Guerrero, Bichette, Biggio, okay, Springer, all those bats. Again, Toronto hasn't won a playoff game in 7 years. That young core has not won a game, never mind a series. And biggest surprise of the first round got to be the Diamondbacks. 6-seeded Arizona scored 4 in the 6th. And the big story of the series, they fell behind each of the 2 games to Milwaukee, and then their bullpen was lights out. 9 1/3 scoreless innings from the Diamondbacks bullpen in this series. Their first playoff series win in 6 years, and that was a 1-game wild card. Mark, this is the first multi-game series that the Diamondbacks have won since 2007. Arizona will face the Dodgers next. They beat the Brewers 5-2. Craig Counsell, Milwaukee's manager, is now a free agent. I have no idea what the Brewers are thinking. Why is Kim Ng not under contract for the Marlins, and why is Craig Counsell not under contract for the Brewers? Could somebody answer me these questions? Because if I'm a Marlins and a Brewers fan, I'd really like to know. How in the world could we possibly lose these people? They're pretty damn good at their jobs. What are we doing? Other Major League Baseball news. So the Padres, what are the 5 biggest disappointments? 3 biggest disappointments? Where
I'd say got to be top 3. And I know New York people would say their teams are 1 and 2 all the time, but the Padres with their payroll and what happened, they've got to be a top 3.
Yeah, I think Mets biggest disappointment, but I'd say Padres second. And when you think that if at the beginning of the season we said, hey, San Diego, win 85 games, you'll make the playoffs. Seriously? 85? Yeah, 85 will do it. And they didn't make the playoffs? Nobody's losing their job, apparently, Mark. 2 days worth of meetings. The owner's like, yep, Bob Melvin, AJ Preller, manager, GM. Yep, you're coming back. What about all this talk of, dissension in the clubhouse and what have you? Everything's good. Nothing to see here. No, we're good. NFL news. A couple interesting personnel moves yesterday. New England reacquired J.C. Jackson from the Chargers. He had left, signed a big money deal. Chargers say it's not working out. New England got J.C. Jackson for one of those late round pick swaps. New England gives up a 6th and gets a 7th back. Seriously? And they're getting the Chargers to pick up most of his salary for the next 2 years. New England doesn't have to pick up the salary until 2026. Well, hell, they'll cut him by then. Unreal. And it was just a year ago the Broncos signed Randy Gregory away from Dallas. They paid him $70 million. They announced they're cutting him unless somebody's
cutting him.
Yeah, cutting him. See ya. They owe him $14 million guaranteed for this year and $5 million of next year's contracts guaranteed. And Sean Payton said, yeah, it wasn't my doing. I got 3 guys younger who are better, cheaper. So if you want them, Dallas, all right, you want to offer us a draft pick, knock yourself out. Did you hear what the NCAA did yesterday? They announced they are shrinking the window for when athletes can enter the transfer portal. They're reducing it by 15 days. 45 days total in all sports. Football, for example, it'll be the first 30 days after the college football playoff, and then probably the last 15 days of April. That's when you can enter the transfer portal. Did you hear what they're doing for college basketball? This is the most asinine thing. For the NCAA, this is asinine. Immediately after Selection Sunday, the 30-day window begins.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So imagine you're in the NCAA tournament 1 week, 2 weeks, and what have you. Oh, no, the transfer portal's wide open. So you have to manage your current team and then also worry about, never mind the players. I mean, hell, if you go to the Final Four, that's most of the transfer portal. Yeah, seriously. College basketball coaches are like, you couldn't wait till after the Final Four? Yeah. By the way, the NCAA did do one smart thing. There used to be a limit. You couldn't bring in more than 25 guys in a year. And they basically now they're like, for football, listen, the scholarship number is 85. Okay, you bring in 25 a year, you bring in 104 guys, whatever. As long as you're 85 scholarships, we don't care how you get to it. College football last night, Jacksonville State improved to 5-1. They beat Middle Tennessee 45-30. They were down 16 at the half. And FIU, Bud Elliott's upset pick, not so much. Panthers lost to New Mexico State 34-17. Thursday night football tonight, Commanders 6-point favorites over the Bears.
God, did baseball have an opportunity tonight? Nobody wants to watch that game.
Nope, and now everybody will.
Yep.
MLS, Inter Miami, no Messi, no win. Chicago 4-1, Miami all but done in terms of the playoffs, realistically. And NASCAR released their schedule for next year. Daytona 500 will be February 18th. The Coke 0400 will be the second to last race before the playoffs, not the last race, the second to last race. Homestead, by the way, will be the third to last race of next season in late October. And at 7 minutes before the hour, that was the starting five. So there you go. Baseball season in the state is over. I need a moment.
And is the great Florida run over? Florida State is the team that has it on their hands to keep the run going. Miller and Moulton. Thank you so much for listening right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
They can't all be good. It is day 2 of what, 50 days in a row, something like that, of football. There's a football game, I think, every day until the day before Thanksgiving. Cool Coyote. It's a nice name. It is. Yeah, Major League Baseball is bummed.
I telling you,
Oh,
they'd have had
my
a Thursday
goodness.
night with a little
Especially
something.
if they could have gotten like Marlins Phillies too, get the biggest city playing left in the playoffs, have them have a winner take all 8:00 game. Phillies and the Braves, baby. That'll be fun. No, they're not bummed they're out of the playoffs. They're just bummed there's no game 3. Twins got a shot against Houston, by the way. Twins hit home runs. I heard a stat yesterday. If you out-homer your opponent in a playoff game, your winning percentage in the last, I think it's 4 playoffs, is like 85%. The whole small ball pitching defense. No, actually, hit more homers than the other guy, you win.
So I had to do it yesterday.
Uh-oh.
I am now a subscriber of Peacock.
Oh! Gymnastics.
We can do this on air because
short segment or next?
Short segment. It's 20 minutes before the Marlins are supposed to start, and she's wanting to watch gymnastics on the main TV on tape delay. And I'm sitting there going, so are you going to watch this now or
30 seconds?
And because the Marlins game's starting in 20 minutes. That's live.
You already know the results.
Right.
Right. This just it. We win.
I will say she's remarkable at her. I mean, at a sport where you're done by 17.
Yeah.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
We're in a bit of mourning today. Baseball season in Florida is over. And we are wondering, is the great Florida sports run also over? Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com.
And I'm getting a little heat, and rightly so, because I've put this on Florida State. And the Canes fans out there going, what about us? What about us?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yep. You'll have your chance. All right. You put yourself in position. You'll have your chance. Hey, just get to the conference championship game, will you? Can you do that? Please? All right, because Florida State's going to be there. Can you get there? You can play them twice in a year. There's no law against it. In fact, hell, the ACC was trying to pass a rule so that it would happen every time. That's why they did those cockamamie divisions. And I say cockamamie only because how many of us can ever remember who's in the Atlantic and who's in the coastal? And besides, you can't keep them going forward. If you do, you got to put Stanford in the coastal. I cracked myself up. But that's why, Mark, this run's not over. Okay? As Belushi said, it's not over until we say it is.
I got you. And I hope that you're right. I would love to see an ACC championship with 2 Florida teams playing in it.
And one of them's going to the playoff. And I think the first round of the playoffs is on New Year's Eve. And that guarantees a Florida team's going to be in the final then. Because it's happening in 2023. And we know what happens once they get to the final. They lose. But that's okay.
That's okay. That is perfectly okay. But boy, that's a lot of wishful thinking for the Canes fan, in my opinion.
Well, for the Canes, maybe, but not so much in Tallahassee.
Well, in Tallahassee, you getting there is one thing, but what you said, getting there and then going to the playoff, I think that even had Noel fan move a little closer to the edge of their chair when you said that. Because I don't know if they believe that yet.
Well, you don't have to believe it. You just have to think it. I mean, like the Miami Hurricanes basketball fan thought the one team would go to the Final Four and the other to the Elite Eight. Hell no. Miller and Moulton was the only damn show in the country in the first week of February that said the Canes were a Final Four team, and we did. We told Jim Larinaga that. He came on our show the second week of February. We said, we think you're a Final Four team. And he laughed. Okay, he's like, I'm not used to the media actually saying such nice things about us.
21,000, the text line. Did get this lovely text, David. And I say lovely because this is Mark as a Braves fan. I, too, hate the Minnesota Twins. And I hate Ken Herbeck as well. So it can be said that 2 people have hate for the Twins. If you caught the show yesterday, I have a problem with the Minnesota Twins that stems back from 1987.
Because apparently they ruined his childhood. That his childhood was going along just swimmingly. And right as it was ending, as he was turning 18 and he was going to college, the Minnesota Twins eliminated his beloved Detroit Tigers from the playoffs. And, well, basically, it was over after that.
It was. Slapped me right with adulthood and said, your childhood is over. Get to class. How's that Math 108 going at 8 a.m.?
That was first semester freshman year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So you were thinking we're going to have a nice playoff run here. I'm going to be cutting a lot of classes. Instead, wham! Twins in 5. Went to the World Series. And you've shipped John Smoltz to the Braves. Which, by the way, okay, there were 2 trades made in the late 80s that were spectacular trades. Spectacular. Okay, the Phillies acquired Larry Anderson from the Astros. Okay, and they gave up, did the Red Sox? The Red Sox acquired Larry Anderson, and they gave up this double-A first base prospect who had hit 4 home runs. His name was Jeff Bagwell. And they gave him up because they had Mo Vaughn in AAA. They didn't need him. And besides, Vaughn was the power hitter. Bagwell, what the hell's he got? A singles hitting first baseman and right-handed to boot at Fenway. Please. And Larry Anderson was great. Great for the Red Sox down the stretch. They don't make the playoffs without him. Just like Doyle Alexander was 9-0 for the Tigers. They gave up this minor league pitcher. He had potential. His name was John Smoltz. Did I say 9-0? And everybody goes, worst trade in franchise history. 11 starts. He went 9-0.
It was a great trade. It really was. They don't win the division otherwise. There's no two ways about it.
Right. And then all of a sudden, 4 years later, the minor leaguers starting Game 7 of the World Series. Oh, yeah, and he's a Michigan native. Grew up rooting for the Tigers. Son of a gun.
What are you going to do?
Did I mention Doyle Alexander went 9-0?
Which winner, David? You follow all these baseball teams a lot more closely than I do. You were on the D-backs. Which one of the winners of the 4 wild card series do you give the best shot to win the next series? Is it still
Twins.
the Phillies? The Twins.
The Twins. And the reason being is because they hit home runs. And in modern baseball, if you out-homer your opponent, you win. And that may sound simple and or stupid, but, there's a lot of solo homers. So just because you hit 2 or 3 solo homers doesn't mean you're going to win. But in the last 5 years in the playoffs, if you hit more home runs in your game than your opponent, you win 85% of the games. That's how important hitting homers is. And I think the Twins, Mark, first off, their bullpen has been really good for a long time. Their closer throws 102 miles an hour. Okay, I mean, they get that game to the 7th, 8th, and 9th. They think that sucker's over. Okay, Houston's had a lot of injuries to their pitching. Now, we know Verlander will be money, but I think actually the Twins have a puncher's shot in a best-of-5 with Houston. I really do.
Money if he gets through the first inning, by the way, with Verlander. If you get to him, you get to him early. That's always been the case with when Verlander pitches.
But, I mean, Mark, to me, in a best-of-5, I mean, like the Phillies don't have a shot against the Braves. They took them out last year in a best-of-5. Like Texas, they scored the second most runs in baseball. In a best-of-5 with Baltimore, Orioles have never played a playoff game before. Now Texas, this group has. And what? Arizona playing the Dodgers? Hell, they play 13 times every year. They're going to LA's pitching is a mess. Diamondbacks are like, hell, we take 1 out of 2 in LA. We'll come home. We'll throw our 2 best starters at home in games 3 and 4. We got a shot. These
And
guys
with the
don't
way their
intimidate
bullpen
us.
pitched in the first 2 games,
Yeah.
they feel confident going into this round of matching their bullpen with anybody because their bullpen's pitching really well right now.
9 1/3 scoreless innings in the series. Their bullpen got more outs in the series against Milwaukee than their starters did. So, I mean, I think all of them have a shot. But if I were to bet money, if you were to tell me one team is going to win, I have a feeling. I had a feeling about the Twins against the Blue Jays. That's one I got right.
Mine's Texas.
Well,
just their ability to score runs, David.
Yeah. Best run producing team in the American League. I think second best in baseball only to the Braves. It's a deep lineup. Not a deep pitching staff.
No, it's not a deep pitching staff. But does reality hit the Baltimore Orioles now that they're in the postseason? Looking forward to that series.
1 o'clock Saturday. Little day baseball for you. But, man, it's a good college football weekend.
Should I say I'm looking forward to that series? That's not really true. I'm looking forward to game 3 of that series, which is on Tuesday of next week.
Mark's going to wake up Monday morning and go, hey, how'd these series go? Where are they?
Not the only one.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
So it should be a good series. I'm looking forward to Orioles Rangers probably more than any other one, just because the Orioles run this year has been fantastic.
Oh, the one I'm most looking forward to, though, is Braves Phillies. All right, that's going to be entertaining. All right. They know each other, not crazy about each other. Lot of personalities, lot of hitting in this series. All right. Phillies took them out last year as a 6 seed. Now they come back. Phillies think they're better this year, and I actually think they are better this year than they were last year. But so were the Braves.
But the Braves pitching,
yeah, a little
is not
suspect.
healthy right now.
Yep. And a best of 5 too. Instead of best of 7. That helps the underdogs, let's be honest. That does. You get that proverbial road split. You go home, and in theory, you don't have to go back. That's what Philadelphia did to the Braves last year. Got the split in Atlanta, never went back. Padres did the same thing to the Dodgers.
And we'll see how many teams that have been sitting for a week can pick up right where they left off. Does all of the wild card rounds going to actually help the 4 big boys, if you will, because now they've got Thursday and Friday off. In theory, if one or two of them play the game 3, they're just taking 1 day off, and it's more like regular season baseball. But time off a week for the division winners, a couple of days off for the wild card winners, and we get things going on Saturday again.
And because of the days off, a lot of these teams who started their game 1 starter on Tuesday can come back no later than game 2 of the next series with their number 1 pitcher. So their pitching disadvantage may not be all that much. Game 1 for sure, but after that, you could make the case the pitching lines up decently for all the underdogs.
Miller and Moulton. Roy Cummings coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, and Dr. Roto as well to answer your fantasy football questions right here on Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Should A1A be renamed the Jimmy Buffett Highway? I say yes. I think that's a good call by a state lawmaker.
What is the A1A?
It's the highway that runs from Key West. It's the one that runs along the beach, basically.
Oh, that's a good proposal then. That'd be cool. That'd be a good way to pay homage to Jimmy.
Look at the Trent going to homage for 7:30.
Yeah, he's got the whole Twitch chat room up in arms, wondering what the hell's going on. And I'm not.
They're like, "Where's Felipe?"
And I'm not telling him anything. They don't.
I'm getting DMs right now.
Felipe's here. Don't worry.
I'm here.
And I'd be in shambles without him.
It's not that hard. I can do it, for crying out loud.
Yeah, really. I mean, come on now. Yeah, Ryan, that's interesting. You know, that could be a poll question. Do we rename A1A or do we rename the airport in Key West?
A1A.
I would agree, but I mean, like in New Orleans, it's Louis Armstrong Airport. They renamed one of the DC airports Reagan. JFK in New York.
Mm-hmm.
In Vegas, you fly into the Harry Reid Airport. I fly in Sunday, sled puppy.
Two good noon games. Not much at 3:30. Oh, no, we got the Alabama Texas A&M, don't we? Good 3:30 game. Yeah, it's pretty good college football day.
We can do that at 38. Yeah, my wife's concerned. She's like, "You're not going to gamble, are you?" No. Come on now. No.
I hope you play a slot and win $1 million.
Right. Keep every penny of it. Did you gamble? Nope. Found it.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Roy Cummings, top of the hour. We'll talk about the first place Tampa Bay Bucks. Thank you very much. And they're part of our poll question. Ladies and gentlemen, the shape up continues. Week 3. We got poll questions up early and often. Yeah. Mark, what's our poll question?
Who has a better shot to win their division, the Bucks or the Dolphins? And we purposefully did not put the Jags on there. We thought that would be the obvious answer because of the division that they're in.
I went Bucks. Dolphins a better team, but obviously tougher competition in the division. A team that right now they can't figure out a way to beat. You know how Pat, when we have him on, and we'll have Pat Kerwin back on tomorrow, talks about the Marino problem that they had for all those years with the Jets? Well, the Dolphins right now have a Josh Allen problem. Take a look at his numbers career against the Dolphins. Oh, man. The Dolphins are his daddy.
I voted Dolphins because I think the Bucks. Hey, look, it was a nice win against New Orleans. It was. But I could see the Bucks losing a lot of games coming up here.
Okay. All right. So that Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Florida Sports Network on Twitter/X or floridasportsnetwork.com. Big weekend of college football. We'll get into that next segment. Roy Cummings at the top of the hour. Dr. Roto in a little more than an hour. Hold on to your fantasy questions. We'll let you know when it's safe to submit them.
So what happened last night, David?
Excuse me?
Last night, I knew it was coming. But as I went through my night and got all my stuff done, just sitting down ready to watch some playoff baseball. Got the kid in bed.
Right.
Got dinner. We got coffee ready for the morning. I'm going to watch Marlins and Phillies. Okay. I'm ready to go.
Right.
Right. And it was actually right before we put the daughter to bed. I'm getting there. My wife walks out and says, "Can we get it?" Can we get what? Can we get it? I need you to get it for me. What do you need me to get?
What do you need? Coffee? Desserts?
I want to watch the gymnastics. Well, it already happened. No, but I want to watch it. Can I watch it right here? There's 47 televisions in our house.
Let me guess which one she wants.
The one in the living room where I've got I've got two baseball games right. You can see the one game's already started. The other game, the pre-game's on.
Right.
I want to watch the gymnastics. So I had to stop everything I was doing to subscribe to.
Oh, yes! Yes! Did you say it, by the way, when you were on when you were subscribing? Did you just say, "I'm subscribing to Peacock"?
Over and over, as a matter of fact. Also, that my wife could watch tape-delayed gymnastics.
She knew the results.
Correct.
That was Simone Biles. It was amazing, and we won again.
Her goober factor on gymnastics may exceed your goober factor on baseball.
Really? Wow. I mean, that's like one step away from a medical condition. I mean, damn.
When you're watching something that you already know the result and you're watching it on replay.
I have to admit, Mark, that may sound alarming to most everyone listening, but to me, that's like, yes. So, I mean, I'd watch the 1990 NFC Championship game if it was on right now. I'd stop doing the show. You put on Game 7 Rangers Devils from 94, I'd be done. I mean, are you kidding?
I mean, it's no different than watching a rerun of Seinfeld or anything. I mean, it's just you're watching tape, you know?
I'm sorry. What?
What did you just say?
If you catch whatever game that you just said on TV, you're going to stop and watch. I mean, do you not do that with Seinfeld? Is that not something that
I don't? But I don't watch games that I've already seen.
Why? You're no fun.
It's already happened. I know the result. There's only one sport in which I can watch a match, game, whatever, after the fact, and that's boxing. I will watch a boxing match knowing what the outcome may be. Now, I haven't done it in a long time because there hasn't been a boxing match that I've been interested in probably a decade. But I was not an ESPN Classic guy. Apparently you were, David.
From time to time, absolutely. I would flip through and go, what's on here? Oh yeah, I could watch this. And that's now what I'm gonna use that line on my wife. What are you doing watching? Well, you watch Friends.
It's the
you've
same
seen
thing.
it before,
It's the exact same thing.
right? And it's
Really
not.
good point, Felipe.
No, I mean, summertime, hardwood classics on NBA TV. That's me. It's got my name written all over it.
Well,
Kobe
we know-
81-point game. Oh my gosh.
Well, we know that. That is true. That is true. So you're a proud subscriber to
Peacock.
Peacock. Wow. Hey, you know what's great with Peacock? You can get your favorite team's Notre Dame's highlights. He hates Notre Dame.
Time now for our play of the day. And you know my daughter's going to end up at Notre Dame. I mean that's my wife's dream is for her to go to Notre Dame, and you know that dream will come true just to drive me crazy.
I honestly, I would empty a bank account to see you in a Notre Dame sweater. I really would. Golly,
Empty, Dad, can't you just see that?
Totally. Okay, and underneath it, you need to put how much that sweater costs: $383,000. Right here.
With my ECU head cover. Felipe, what do you got for us today?
Well, baseball yesterday, Minnesota Twins finally ending their playoff drought of 18 years, and en route on the way, picking off Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Pick off attempt to second, and they got him. They got him at second base. Sonny Gray and Correa picked off Guerrero at second base. Guerrero saying no way.
Got the young phenom slacking as the Twins win 2-0 and advance to the ALDS. Rejoice, Twins fans. You deserve it. Love the Twins.
First playoff series win in 21 years. 2002, the last time they beat the A's. All right. It's actually the playoff series that if you watched Moneyball, the end of that year, they put the long winning streak together and what have you, the A's lost to the 2002 Twins in the first round, best of 5. Minnesota went into Oakland and won game 5. Then played the Angels in the ALCS the year the Angels won the World Series because the Angels eliminated the Yankees. But the team who beat the A's in Moneyball that season was the 02 Twins.
Wow.
And there is our play of the day today on Miller and Moulton.
No. The play of the day was last night when Mark Miller signed up for Peacock. Unbelievable.
Yep. Now I can watch Big Ten football, Notre Dame football, and gymnastics, David. That's what matters.
I will say, though, Mark, for as much fun as we make of your wife and her gymnastics, it's more than a fetish obsession. She is watching the greatest gymnast of all time.
There's no doubt.
I mean, this is like if somebody hates golf and you believe Tiger's the greatest of all time, and during his run, and you go, "Well, we're watching Tiger." Okay, I know you don't like golf, but this goes beyond golf. This is like we're watching swimming. No, we're watching Michael Phelps.
But it also has the Brady and the Serena quality to it because of the longevity. They're not supposed to be doing this at that age. And it's remarkable in a sport when you're done at 17 that she's still doing what she's doing now. Miller and Moulton. We'll get into the college football weekend on the other side right here. Where else but the Florida Sports Network?
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0000. 0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I take it you flipped the Felipe, you flipped the
I'd appreciate if you kept my name out your mouth.
I found it. Got you, Tua.
By the way, all the money coming in on A&M. That's surprising to me. I got the line down to 1.5.
Yes. What did it start at?
I think it started at like 3. It was 2.5 at this time yesterday.
Where the hell are you? There you are. Started at 3.5.
Look at that. You know, A&M scored 2 non-offensive touchdowns against Arkansas. They had a defensive score and a special team score.
I'll take out. This will be one of my 5. If it's Alabama and 1.5, I'm taking Alabama.
I'm fired up for the game, though. These two teams play good games. Each of the last 2 games have gone down to the final play.
God, I wish Georgia and Kentucky was in Kentucky.
over me?
Who's that?
It's Jimmy. Tobias Harris over me. Since the Sixers decided to pay Tobias Harris $180 million. Not Jimmy.
Rocking as long as they have the lead, E. It's amazing what happens when the road team punches you in the mouth first.
College Station is cool. You know, they got the rocking going.
I got you. I was at Baton Rouge at night.
Yep.
Didn't take the lead, and the game was over, and the crowd was not in it.
I was going to say, I think you saw LSU score 0.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
As we approach 22 minutes before the hour, Roy Cummings will join us at the top of the hour to talk your first place Tampa Bay Bucks, who are one of two teams in our poll question. So which team do you think is going to finish first, or that has the better chance of finishing first? Bucks 3-1 in first. Dolphins 3-1 tied for first. Mark went Dolphins. I went Bucks. Go to that Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Florida Sports Network, and then floridasportsnetwork.com to vote.
21,000's the text line, 21000. You want to chime in on anything that's said on the show, you can always text us at 21,000 or join us at Twitch TV/Miller and Moulton.
Dr. Roto, 1 hour from now, we are not taking your fantasy questions at this moment in time. We will be taking them close to 1 hour from now. The doctor makes his weekly house call.
I got to get through a little business with Doc, and then we'll get to all of your questions.
First you got to get through Felipe on the phone. He asked him his questions too. I mean, you got to call him like 5 minutes before we need him on the air to answer all your damn questions.
Speaking of which, Felipe, I've got a question to get in before we go on air. So let's make sure we get Doc a little early today. You know what? That's a dadgum good point, David. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You know, I love this college football weekend. It's not the weekend that was 3 weeks ago. I mean, that was more big games, but there's a lot more meat on the bone than I think people realize this weekend.
Terrific college football weekend. The Red River rivalry. God, that just sounds awful.
It does. It's the shootout, for goodness sakes. It's also the last time as members of the Big 12. So this becomes Florida-Georgia now. I mean, it's just a neutral site SEC game that's not named properly.
Which name bothers you more?
That could be a poll question. Hopefully next year. Okay, that could be a
what
poll
do they
question.
Even call? They don't even call the cocktail party anything anymore. Now it's just the Florida-Georgia game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is where you miss Vern. Okay, because we were like given an edict, okay, not to refer to it as. And so Vern made sure to say, and here we are in Jacksonville in the game formerly known as the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. It was like, God, I love you. Yes, that's how you do it. He even like had his own conversation. He goes, so they just call it the cocktail party, right? And Gary's looking at him like, don't look at me.
You're on your own there. I want to talk X's and O's, okay, Vern?
Right.
How about you send me a quarterback question? I'm all in.
I was going to say, don't drag me into this. Actually, the best, we'll get back to the games. Just give me 20 seconds. So 2008 SEC championship game. You had like the BCS, you still at the time, and whatever the BCS rankings were, which I think were like It was Alabama and Florida. It was Saban's first SEC title game in Bama. It was the one Tebow fourth quarter dramatics. Florida wins on their way to the title. And Florida members lost earlier in the year to Ole Miss. So I think they're like fourth in the BCS. And Bama's either first or second. But in the AP poll, for whatever reason, Bama was 1 and Florida was 2. And CBS is like, we're referring to it as number 1 against number 2. And all of us were like, oh, come on, that's stupid. We don't go by AP rankings. The whole industry uses the BCS. That's once it comes out, that's the rankings. It's not 1 versus 2. And CBS was adamant. Okay, 1 versus 2. So Vern and Gary do their open, and the open usually lasts around 3 minutes. And I am not kidding. 9 times Vern referred to it as number 1 versus number 2. And in fact, as we threw it to break, he said, and have I reminded you that this is number 1 versus number 2? And Mark, knowing my personality, you know why I would take a bullet for him.
It's one thing to honk off the traveling secretary for ESPN.
Right.
It's another to take on an entire network for your opening monologue, essentially.
Totally. Basically, he was saying to Sean McManus, here's your number 1 versus number 2, and I am going to shove it. I don't know if he included that in his book. I don't think he did, but man, I wish he had.
All right. So the noon games, we get Texas and Oklahoma, and we get LSU and Missouri. Sneaky good game right there. And they're at home, but Ohio State plays Maryland. Ohio State's a 20-point favorite. That game usually is better than a 20-point game.
Well, it's a game that Ohio State can't sleepwalk through. Maryland's dangerous enough to give them a game if they're not ready to play. If they are ready to play, they'll cover by close to the spread. But Maryland's got a quarterback. They do have some talent. They're just dangerous enough that if you think you're going to throw your helmet and shoulder pads out and win, next thing you know, it's late third quarter, you're in a game.
LSU and Missouri, I think I would have given Missouri a lot better shot in this game if LSU didn't blow it in the fourth quarter against Ole Miss last week.
It's been a rough week for LSU, though. Not just the loss. They just found out one of the most popular players on the team has brain cancer. All right. It's a rough time right now with that football team. Okay, it is. And obviously Missouri at home. Okay, plus isn't it an early start?
Yes.
Okay, sometimes teams ask Florida. Were they ready to play last week after playing a bunch of night games? Played their first game during the day last week. I mean, usually LSU bounces back, and Brian Kelly's a terrific coach no matter what people think of him, Mark. But I just wonder if Missouri can get in a couple of big haymakers early in this game because LSU is not quite right.
And then the shootout, Oklahoma and Texas. I don't know if Oklahoma can stop anybody.
Well, they haven't really played anybody yet. All right. They really haven't. I mean, the schedule hasn't been Michigan soft. Okay, but they haven't played much yet. So now they get tested. Bud Elliott yesterday said, I'm convinced Texas is the top 5 team. I'm only convinced Oklahoma's a top 15 team. But, Mark, this is another situation where how many times in this game has the pressure and the focus been on Texas, and how many times have they not risen to the occasion?
And will this Texas team be any different than many predecessors who have come into this situation with the hype on them and not been able to deliver?
Now, they've already shown that they are different, though. They did it at Bama. So is this a 2009 Texas team who handled the pressure of this game and won it on their way to an undefeated regular season? But do you know Louisville and Kentucky are both 5-0 at the same time for the first time? They've been playing college football, both of them, for over 100 years. This is the first time they are both 5-0 in the same season.
Well, I will say for the majority of those years, these two teams have already played each other by now. I mean, if you go back and look, Louisville plays Kentucky in the first 3 weeks of the season. Usually, they used to.
Right, back in the day. True.
So that can throw a lot as to why they've both not been 5-0.
Would seem to be statistically hard to accomplish, yes. Damn you bringing facts into this, okay? I had a really good nugget there.
4-0-1 seems like it would have been a lot more likely, but that's just me.
Notre Dame survived at Duke. Can they now, in a very similar spot, can they survive at Louisville? Louisville's maybe the most unimpressive 5-0 so far. I mean, they have skated by a couple lesser opponents to get to 5-0. I do really like their coach. I do think he will, whatever happens to the ACC and wherever Louisville's going, or if they're staying, he, I think's the real deal.
No, I mean, you're right. I think a couple of years down the road, we could see Louisville and Colorado playing for Big 12 championships.
Yes. It's true. If you're a UCF fan, you do not want to see Louisville with Jeff Brom in the Big 12. You don't. No, stay in the ACC. Stay in a weakened ACC. Thank you very much.
Speaking of UCF, they're a 2-point dog against Kansas after blowing the game against Baylor. Look at their defense is atrocious. It just is.
Why is that line only 2? I mean, seriously, why is that line only 2? I mean, is Plumlee coming back this week? I thought he was out for one more week. So
the offense hasn't been the problem.
No, true. But
I mean, they're giving up nearly 400 yards per game. That's a tough thing to try to win.
Yes, it is. And then there's the game that I'll be at in College Station. And the money is coming in on Texas A&M.
In a big way.
That is surprising to me.
That's a line that opened at 3.5. It's down to 1.5.
Alabama, a road favorite, but only by 1.5. I will say the last 2 years, this game has come down to the final play both times. A&M winning 2 years ago in prime time on a field goal on the last play of the game. And Alabama holding off A&M in prime time last year in Tuscaloosa when A&M had the ball inside the 10, throwing it into the end zone to win on the final play of the game. And they played that game without Bryce Young. Their quarterback this year was their quarterback last year in this game. So A&M has already faced him. And, obviously he's a little different now and a little better than he was last year. He was really a deer in headlights last year when he played in the game. But, in terms of the running ability that he brings, this team, this coaching staff has already faced him. Could that be an edge for A&M?
Yeah, I'm just stacking the box. I'm not letting him beat me with his legs.
He's really fast. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I understand.
I mean, you know how dangerous it is when you go, well, we got a spy. Well, you got to be able to catch him.
Yeah, your spy better be able to run a 4.4.
Right.
Don't do it with I recommend trying not to do it with a slower linebacker because that spy is just going to get walked around.
And what's interesting is the A&M defense has really responded since the Miami thrashing. And what we've seen anyway is that A&M is pretty good against the run. Miami was the one team that could pass block them and make them pay. Bama doesn't have that. They don't have the passing game that Miami does. Bama's going to have to play smash mouth football. Mark, this could be a phone booth game. Because I don't know how much A&M is going to do against Alabama. I mean, it could be very similar to the game we just did, which was 10-10 at the half, 17 all going to the fourth. I mean, this could be first 1-20 wins Alabama A&M. And I think it comes down to which quarterback's going to make the fourth quarter mistake.
So you would be more apt to bet the under in this game than anything else. It's 46.5 is where it's at, David.
I would be. Now, I will say A&M had 2 non-offensive touchdowns last week. They had a defensive score and a special team score. And I do think, Mark, that there's the chance that A&M throws a pick 6. That is the one thing that concerns me in this game. I don't think the 2 offenses will combine for 47 points, but I do think there's a chance for points elsewhere.
Kentucky is a 14.5-point dog against Georgia. Same number as Auburn last week. Auburn was at home for that game and obviously gave Georgia all that they wanted. Can Kentucky do the same?
Well, Kentucky has to look at Auburn and go, wow, they ran for like 240 against Georgia. Yeah, but they did it largely with the quarterback running. Kentucky's going to do it largely through tailbacks. When's the last time you saw a team with tailbacks run for 200 against Georgia? You got to go back 5 years, quite frankly. LSU did it. Okay. I mean, so that's the part in which, it's Kentucky's a lot better than Auburn, but offensively, what they're bringing to the fight may not cause as many problems, actually. That to me, I do think, Mark, though, that this is not a great Georgia team. Bowers is great. I don't know if anybody else on the team is.
Beck played a lot better last week. They'll need him to continue his progression and become the quarterback that he's expected to be there.
He did.
So pretty good Saturday of games. Pretty sneaky Saturday of games. And there's probably a game we didn't mention that'll end up giving us a lot more than we expected.
Unfortunately, do we really think it's going to be like Michigan, get tested by Minnesota or so? It's tough to see Michigan tested before they play Penn State in a month.
No, but I thought the point you made is that if Ohio State doesn't start off strong, I think Maryland could actually give them a little something. Means Ohio State will win by 40.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Roy Cummings to talk about those first place Tampa Bay Bucks. And then Dr. Roto in 45 minutes on Miller and Moulton.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone, on 5th Avenue in Naples.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, your Cubs would have certainly have done better than the damn Marlins.
and maybe better than the Brewers, okay? Yeah, well, I don't know. The way they were playing, maybe not, but pretty interesting. Well, I mean, we haven't been in it that long, but I don't think we've ever had 4 sweeps in all at the same time, right?
I don't think not. What's this, year 3 of the best of 3?
Yeah. I mean, that's a little unusual. How about the Rays, though? Holy cow. I don't know what was more embarrassing, the way they played or the attendance.
The attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, you get it. You live there. I understand. I've driven up there a million times, and I noticed, having when I was picking my son up from the Tampa airport, just that drive from St. Pete to the airport, watching the traffic on the other side. But I don't care. It's the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, but you know what? To me, it's just, it's further indictment of the fact that that building is just in the wrong place. You got to put it over in Tampa. I hate to get provincial like that, but
well, I mean, I am only half kidding when earlier I said they might as well call them the St. Pete Rays. That to me is what just transpired. That they're the Miami Marlins.
Right.
They are the St. Pete Rays.
Yeah, because a good chunk of Tampa Bay can't get there to see a game. Here, get this, guys, and you know this. Next Tuesday, the Lightning will kick off a 3-game triple-header for the NHL at 5:30. That building will be packed. Packed. They'll have just as many fans at the Lightning game, maybe more, because if you count the people who are outside milling around, watching it on a screen on a wall, probably be more. So yeah, that's a good point. St. Pete Rays.
I was just up in Tampa both Sunday, Monday, and yesterday. My mom had some surgery, and spending 8 hours in the hospital waiting for things to get done. I didn't see anybody wearing Rays anything. Saw people wearing Lightning stuff. Saw people wearing Bucks stuff.
It's another thing. You know what else I noticed? And just, it was the Phillies game more than anything, but everybody at that Phillies game had something Phillies on. Some kind of, and there were some unique, wearables there. But at the Rays game, most of the people have Rays stuff, but then you have a chunk of people that are just wearing a shirt like mine. It doesn't even have to be the team color. They're just, wearing a shirt. It's just
a great point. That's a great point, Roy.
Yeah, the passion just isn't the same.
And they wear the Fanatic hats or whatever, the Fanatic green hair.
Yes. Yeah.
That was the best building in sports last night.
For sure. No doubt about it.
I'm sad that the Marlins lost, but I mean, nothing but respect for the Phillies.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, one of the fun things, and it was even this way last year, it's fun to watch that fan base get behind that team. It's not fun when they don't get behind them, but when they get behind them like they do now, it's fun to kind of watch them.
But see, even though they're the same people, it's funny. Even though they're the same people, I enjoy Phillies fans, but I hate Eagles fans.
Yeah, right. It's an ugly passion with the Eagles.
But I love the Phillies fan. All right, we're coming back.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And just like that, it's the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network. Thanks so much for being with us, Dr. Roto, to answer your fantasy football questions in about 35 minutes. Roy Cummings, kind enough to join us. He covers the Tampa Bay Bucks. You can follow Roy on Twitter/X at rcummingsfhcn, rcummingsfhcn. Listen, before we get to the Bucks, because they got a bye this week. All right, you have lived in the Tampa Bay area for what, 30 plus years?
More than that.
Okay.
40.
So I bring this up because of what just transpired the last 2 days in St. Pete. The base and the region being ridiculed, even by national broadcasters, for 19,700 for the first playoff game, 20,198 yesterday. And doesn't it show that really they're not the Tampa Bay Rays? Okay, that Tampa folks watch them. They follow them. The TV radio ratings are solid. But they're really the St. Pete Rays, just like the Marlins are now the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, that's you can't argue that. I can't argue that, I should say. If you live in Tampa Bay, you understand it. It's very hard to get from Tampa, Brandon, anywhere, the other side of the bay over to St. Pete. It doesn't matter what time of day it is, or even what day it is. I understand day game and everything else, but you know what? It's just that building, the Trop, and where they're going to put the new one. Project where they're projecting to put it, same spot. It's just very hard to get to. You really have to make a commitment. You would think that the playoffs would be one of those times when you do make that commitment. It's okay, look, I'm going to devote an hour and a half to getting over there if that's what it takes, and an hour and a half to get home if that's what it takes. But it didn't happen. And guys, look, we're all hockey fans. Tuesday night at 5:30, the Lightning are going to kick off a triple header for ESPN to kick off the NHL season. That building will be packed. They'll have at least 19,000 in that building and another 2,000 people milling around the stadium outside, watching it on a screen on a wall. So they'll match the attendance that the Rays had for a playoff game on opening night against Nashville, which, not that sexy of a team really, but at the end of the day, it's hockey, it's in Tampa, and it's going to draw a crowd better than what the Rays are going to get for a playoff game, which is, I think it says a lot.
And they'll do it 40 times. I mean, that's the other side of it. Or the you're 100% right on opening night, but the Lightning will do that 40 times. They're going to sell it every game. It's it's crazy.
An even better point. You're right.
Now, do you think it really would have been different if the stadium was built in Tampa and Hillsborough?
Yep.
Do you?
Absolutely.
So you think the fans are there, it's just too much of a pain in the butt?
Yes. The TV ratings and the radio ratings show that the fans are there. There is a passion for the team. The community loves the team, but they don't love the commute to get to that stadium. And again, that's where they're projecting to put the new one. It's the same old problem. We're never going to, and the bottom line to me is, we are never going to know for sure if Tampa Bay is a true, legitimate, good baseball market until we put the stadium in Tampa and find out once and for all, is it location? I believe it is location. It's so much easier. Look, you can't draw fish into a stadium, and about a third of the area around that stadium in St. Pete is water. You've got to it's just more centrally located in Tampa. You got to put it there.
Just remember that line, David. You can't draw fish to a stadium. It's
really good, and it's even tough to tax them with a toll. It is.
Yes.
Well, and
it is.
The only good thing about the fish is they don't carry cash, so they'd be fine at the Trop where you can't pay for anything.
Yeah. And you know what? Here's another thing. I'd be willing to bet that if push came to shove, that on nights when there was a baseball game, they would probably erase the tolls on the expressways in and out of Brandon and everywhere else just to make it easier for people to get there. I think this particular ownership group of the Rays probably wouldn't say, okay, we'll pay for part of that loss. But I still think that could be negotiated where you say, okay, there's no tolls. They do it for hurricanes, obviously. It's an emergency. But I think for playoff games, for baseball games in particular, eliminate the tolls from, 5 o'clock on or something.
And listen, we're going to move on to the Bucks here. But I just want to throw this out there, and you would know living there, being a taxpayer there. I mean, Tampa and Hillsborough County, they're probably before the decade's up. You guys are going to face some hard realities with Amalie Arena and Raymond James Stadium. Yeah. I mean, I'm not so sure the city and the county would have also been wanting to pony up for the Rays. Roy, you tell us. I mean, is the city and the county going to willingly pony up for the Bucks and the Lightning? We think they will for the Lightning. The Lightning owners beloved. But you tell me, you're the taxpayer.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they realize what could have happened with the Bucks many, many years ago, 20 years ago now, had they not built the stadium. They kind of went through that recently where the stadium needed an upgrade. The group that has been behind trying to get the Rays stadium built in Tampa has really just asked that the Rays do their part. In essence, the deal that being cut in St. Pete, if that deal was cut in Tampa would be all for it. They realize that this is a community that's going to have to pay in a little bit just because it's a small market and the owners just don't have the deeper pockets to pay for it all themselves, and the cost has gone up so significantly. But I think they would because again, it takes, if you look at what's happened around Amalie Arena, which has just completely been transformed into a real magnet for people to come and live and enjoy the evening or a weekend. If you do the same thing, which is what's projected in St. Pete, but I don't think it'll have the same impact. If you do that in some other area a mile away in Tampa, right off the interstate, I don't see why people wouldn't come. It would become a destination. It would be the thing to do. And Tampa's getting younger, whereas St. Pete just continues to seem to get older.
All right, let's move on to the Bucks. Great performance. Baker Mayfield has as good a performance as he's had all year. 3 TDs. He did throw the 1 interception, but with Evans getting hurt, it was a damn near perfect game for the Bucks against the Saints.
Yeah, it really was. They played very well. And by the way, since we're speaking of attendance, guys, how about the attendance on the Baker Mayfield bandwagon? That's getting pretty hefty, too. In fact, I think there's more people on that bandwagon now than there were at the Rays game. Even national people are starting to wake up to it. Pat McAfee, Kay Adams. It's like they never saw Baker Mayfield before. Of course, they did, but they also saw him play poorly. But look, I think this is an example of what's happened with Baker Mayfield. To me, it's an example of what happens when you put a good quarterback in a good system with good players. He spent a lot of time in a bad system with sketchy players, not a whole lot of talent, and now he's playing at a high level because he's got very good people around him. He's got a good scheme around him, and yeah, I thought they, for a while it was touch and go against the Saints, but you know what? They figured it out, and that's why you play 4 quarters. So give them credit. I think they've had 2 games now where the second half they've kind of made some pretty good adjustments after a kind of a rough go in the first quarter, first half, and proven that they were by far the better team.
Is this Geno Smith part 2.0? And the connection, of course, is Dave Canales, who was the quarterback's coach for the last 3 years in Seattle, and now is the offensive coordinator in Tampa. I mean, are the Bucks going to have their version of Geno Smith, which, by the way, then means Baker signs an extension, an affordable one, and is the quarterback for the next 3-4 years?
Yeah, I was thinking just that as I watched him play last Sunday. I think that already the Bucks have to start thinking, okay, what kind of contract are we going to offer this guy? And he's got to start thinking, okay, is this where I want to be long term? Are we going to be, how good are we going to be going forward? I think it is. It's Geno Smith 2.0. And, some people would say it's Baker Mayfield 2.0. I think in each case, again, it's a matter of putting a talented quarterback who's learned a few lessons the hard way in a good system with good players and a good coach. It really is no more difficult than that. Every quarterback, Justin Fields is probably going to prove at some point, I hope he does for his sake, that he's a good quarterback. He just needs a good coach and a good system and good players around him, and time to learn. All that the NFL has to show you, because it's very tough on a young player. And Baker had some early success, and then a lot of failure. But I think you learn from all of it. And if you mature at the right time, before it's too late, in essence, you can save your career.
The Bucs coming into a bye week doesn't seem like the right time, but they are a pretty banged up football team through 4 weeks. This actually could turn out to be a blessing in disguise, having this early bye. Yeah,
I think it does. I think it comes at a good time. You're right. I think they'd love to keep on playing, even if Mike Evans couldn't go. But at the end of the day, look, it's the annual Mike Evans hamstring injury, which he seems to get every year, usually in preseason. But they've got some guys banged up. Jamel Dean, obviously. So I think it comes at a good time for them. And, especially with a team that's you got new coaches and a new quarterback, an early bye is a good thing, because as good as it looks, there's probably a lot going on behind the scenes where things aren't quite as cohesive. And this gives them an opportunity to clean it up. They could look even better. As I said, first half against Minnesota, just okay at best. First half against the Saints, offensively, not great. Defensively, they could be a little bit smarter. Still a lot of penalties. So there's some things they can clean up. Comes at a good time.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
If we tell you you're the Bucs, we'll promise you 8-9. Would you take it?
No. Better than that.
Roy Cummings. Follow him, R. Cummings FHCN, R. Cummings FHCN on Twitter/X. He's our Bucs beat guy, has been for only 20 years. No big deal or anything. Roy, sorry about the Cubs, but baseball season's over in Florida anyway.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And in Chicago.
On to hockey,
guys.
On to hockey, Roy.
Yes,
on to
sir.
hockey.
Don't mind that at all.
Roy Cummings. He'll join us next Thursday as well here on Miller and Moulton. Dr. Roto in 25 minutes. Start slowly sending in your fantasy football questions.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
What the hell?
I don't know. What the hell?
What the hell? My password's not working for get into my bank app.
Uh-oh. All your money's gone.
Yeah, it could be. Hope not. Gotta pay this.
I got some emails from Peacock.
I'll bet you did.
Oh, Mark, get ready for that because they send you an email like every morning.
Oh, I
trying to
know.
Recommend shows and stuff.
Between my, because I'm official cord cutter between Max, because I've got that app, so I get one or two from them every day. ESPN sends a lot.
What do you watch on Max?
Succession.
Okay, because everyone's kind of got like one show with Max that they watch.
I got it for 4 months free when I got YouTube TV.
Gotcha.
So that was the main reason.
There's some good stuff on there.
Yeah, there is. But I lived without it for a year and did just fine. I like the two political shows. I do like Real Time with Bill Maher, and I like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I think is hysterical. Oh, I can watch the wrestling pay-per-view on Saturday with Peacock. Thanks for that, Adam.
You can also, I mean, you got to wait a year, but you can watch the MLB, the horrific MLB games they do on Peacock.
They do MLB games on Peacock?
Yeah, like every now and then they'll do, like there were a couple Tigers games on this year, and you can't watch them on TV.
Right.
They
Yeah, there
pull them
was
from-
a Rays game that was on that way too.
It's atrocious.
By the way, Trent, what do you think of them getting rid of Matt Shepard?
I liked him. I actually got to meet him. He's a very nice guy, but he just wasn't great at baseball. Granted, it's very hard to do that when the team stinks. So
I don't think they helped him because they had like 11 analysts that he had to work with over the last few years.
yeah, and like Kurt Gibson, God love him, isn't bringing the best analysis every day. So it's hard to get into a flow. I agree, but he had 5 years and wasn't moving the needle.
And they basically said that when they let him go. They said that they got feedback from their fans. They took surveys and talked to
the fans ripped him apart.
Talked to other people in the industry and basically
the guy in Baltimore that's available. Are they close, Trent? A lot of people think they're close. Are the Tigers close?
I mean, they got second in the division, so take with that what you will. Division sucked, but
it's the worst. Might be the worst division in sports.
Yeah, Gary Carpenter, I think, took a step. Riley Green looked better towards the end of the year. Torkelson looked a lot better this year, so I think they're closer. Got to stay healthy though. All those pitchers, Manning, Kubel.
Also, they could lose. Is it Rodriguez? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, well, there was the whole fiasco where they tried to trade him and
didn't.
No trade clause and all that. So we'll see. I don't know.
Well,
so we're back on.
They tried to trade him to a team on his no trade list.
Right.
Yeah, I think
that's no offense. You ask him before you put the trade together, would you okay a trade to the Dodgers?
Absolutely. You don't even start the talks unless
and then you don't have a trade with another team lined up. You only had one worked out with the Dodgers.
Yeah, it was
that was not a good look for the GM at all.
First deadline too, 30 seconds.
Is the final year of Billions worth watching?
My mom says no.
Okay.
The Axe has only been on like twice. He's not on every episode.
No, well then.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour on this Thursday, the first such one of October, where the baseball season in Florida is already over. Just like that. And no game threes tonight. We're stuck with Bears Commanders. Talk about sexy. Yeah, right. Washington a 6-point favorite. That's what we got tonight. Yep. Gonna stream Amazon?
I am. I'll watch. I
Would
want to
you-
see just how bad the Bears are, David.
Would you have watched if there was a baseball game tonight?
Nope.
So it just would have taken one game three.
So all I needed was one game three to not have to watch this. But I'll watch. I'll watch. Unfortunately.
I'm curious how many Bears fans are actually to the point in which they're like, you know what? Let's just lose. I'm done. I'm done with this coach. Done with Fields. Because remember, and you know, we don't keep things in perspective. Miller and Moulton tried to. It was just 6 weeks ago. Mark, who was having more money bet on him to be league MVP than any other player in the NFL?
That was Justin Fields.
Just 6 weeks ago.
We talked about it. So you can go back and listen to the tape because we didn't get it. We didn't understand it. We thought it was wasted money. But it was factual, and we pointed it out.
And now, how many of the people who put cash on Justin Fields are like, hell, let's just lose. We got Carolina's pick. They're winless. Let's just have the first and second picks of the draft. We'll go Caleb Williams, USC, Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State, and let's just go.
There are a lot of Bears fans that I've talked to, David, that they're a beaten fan base. Like, they don't even think drafting a quarterback will help because they just figure they'll ruin that quarterback too.
It only takes one, guys. It takes one. You only have to be right once. Okay.
Are we sure they're wrong about Justin Fields? Or is this a coaching problem?
Right. But
I mean, that's the thing here, David. I don't know if we're right about. I mean, is Justin Fields a good quarterback? Is he an average quarterback? Is he a bad quarterback? I don't know. Or is this such a bad organization that there's no way to tell?
I do think it is fair to say that this is the best personnel that Justin Fields has played with. Now, that's a sad statement, but I do think it's a fair and accurate one. They got him a wide receiver. They tried to get him two, but the other guy's head is firmly misplaced. He's got a tight end. The line, which was just a turnstile his rookie year, is now not a turnstile. In fact, there are stats to show that at times Justin Fields has more time to throw than any other quarterback in the league. So this is starting to now get on Fields and or his coaching. But even if you got it wrong, do you really, we got Trubisky wrong. We got Fields wrong. So what? You stop? You go get another one. And another one and another one if you have to. Because if you get it right, it's 10 to 15 years. Come on. I know it's hard. I know you're Cubs and or White Sox fans too, so I get it. And you're probably Blackhawks fans and Bulls. I get it. But come on now.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you actually get it. No. Because of the teams that you're a fan for, I don't know if you've ever had this type of city drought. You've had team drought. You've dealt with your teams being bad, but usually there's been one team you could cling to. It's bad in Chicago right now. It's darn near hopeless.
It's tough. I mean, the Blackhawks won the Cup in 2015. Their third in 6 seasons, by the way. The Cubs won the World Series 7 years ago and then made the playoffs the 2 years following. The White Sox just 2 years ago made the playoffs. But right. I get it. The Bulls have largely disappointed for a while now. I think it's more the Bears haven't gotten the quarterback position right for 60 years outside of Jim McMahon. That's what I think is the real problem here. That's why I believe Mark, Bears fan, is so beaten down. They're like, well, hell, we've only had one good guy my whole life. I've only had one guy I believed in my whole life.
And they've told me we've had the right one however many times they've drafted one.
Right. You know, we traded for Rick Meyer. Okay. Then we had Steve Walsh. All right. And then we could go right on down the list. Kyle Lorton, Jim Miller, Rex Grossman. Okay. Jay Cutler, Mitch Trubisky, who really also, I think this is a Trubisky hangover. Let's cut right to the chase. This was a Polish quarterback in Chicago. This was the parade. This was the guy who was going to become the most beloved football player in that city since Walter Payton. If he had done what everyone had hoped, he literally would be the most popular Bear since Walter Payton. A Polish quarterback in Chicago. And they ruined him.
Did they ruin him, or was he just not good enough?
I think they ruined him more than he wasn't good enough. Listen, if they still had Robbie Gould as a kicker, he would have won the playoff game against the Eagles. And quite frankly, that year in the NFC, they could have gone to the Super Bowl. And he didn't even know how to play the position yet. I mean, I will say this. We were talking about watching old sporting events earlier in the show. If you ever get a chance to see the double doink game, as Chris Collinsworth called it, where the Bears kicker hit both uprights and missed the kick and the Eagles won, all right, watch Trubisky's throws on that final drive. Game on the line, season on the line, playoff game in January. Watch his throws on that drive. Okay, remember what I said to you about Jared Goff? I was not a golf guy. Did not think he would go to Detroit and be what he's become. But did watch him in an NFC Championship game in New Orleans outplay Drew Brees and went, that's interesting. Trubisky on that final drive, Mark, was an NFL quarterback. Was clearly a franchise quarterback on that final drive against the Eagles. And the kicker missed the kick. His career could have gone completely differently.
Miller and Moulton, get your questions ready. The doctor is 8 minutes away. 21,000 is the text line. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton on X. Still don't like that.
How about Twix? We'll just call it Twix. Let people figure out what it is we're talking about, a candy bar or social media.
By the way, quickly, Twix or a Reese's? What are you going with?
Ooh, I would go with Twix. My wife would go with 8,000 Reese's, but I would go with Twix. I think it's underrated. I think it's Barney Miller. How about that? The Barney Miller candy bars.
That's the 100. That's the 100 grand.
Okay.
But the doctor, nothing underrated about him. He is next. Get your fantasy football questions ready. Dr. Roto on the other side, Miller and Moulton.
Ladies and gentlemen, hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Life Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlifetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Twix or Kit Kat? I just got that text. I got to admit, I think I go Kit Kat. I really like Kit Kat.
Over what?
Twix.
Either? Ooh, Kit Kat over Twix.
Twix or Kit Kat?
Oh, Twix.
Okay.
The caramel.
See, these are the poll questions we should have. JB Vike, you can't ask. You already asked. First off, you submitted the Kincaid question twice, and now you're asking Olave or Flowers. I mean, come on. Yeah. Got it, SEC me. Got it. So how do we pronounce Puka again?
Nakua. Puka Nakua.
Puka Nakua.
Okay. Gesundheit. I feel badly for Matt Shepard just because he gave up the Michigan gig for the Tigers. All because of spring training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gave like a really nice farewell thing too.
Well, I mean, you have to. I mean,
yeah,
you
but
can't-
he strikes me as like he grew up a Tigers fan. I remember when he got the job, he was getting all teary-eyed talking about, talking to Kirk Gibson on the air, like, I can't believe this is real. So I wish the teams would have been better because honestly, that helps a lot, as you know. But it's just, I don't know. I wish him the best.
It's
See what he
funny. We've always had a theory. The announcers are more important the worse the team is. That if the team is pretty good to good or better, anybody can do the games.
Oh, I 100% believe that. Because at that point, it's like it's gravy if you have a great announcer.
Because like the Marlins, Jeter came in 5-6 years ago and got rid of the announcers that we all liked. And it was like, dude, what are you doing? The product sucks, and now the announcers do.
Jesus.
Sad.
Yeah, Spitz, that's a great question, Spitz. Which new Big 12 team actually wins a conference game first?
Ooh, we need a new defense. I did not pay attention yesterday.
Well, do you guys have Dr. Roto on the line here? You got only 2 minutes to ask questions.
They're doing their thing. I'm not worried about it.
Okay. I should probably close the door. Construction should be arriving any minute.
Okay, we got Dr. Roto. We got about 1 minute.
All right.
Hey, have you heard from our fearless leader this week?
No.
Me neither. Sent him a text 2 days ago, said, I really need to book my travel. Sent him a text yesterday. It says, I'm booking my travel tomorrow. So are we doing this live show or not? Nothing. Okay. I'll wait till about 3 o'clock.
I'm going to get pounded in fantasy this week.
Why is that?
A lot of bye weeks.
It is bye week season now, unfortunately.
And I've got T. Higgins, and I've got to play him. And I don't even know if he's going to play.
Even if he does play the way Joe Burrow's playing.
I know.
Okay, about 10 seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour, our final segment along the network. And we do so on Thursdays with our doctor making his weekly house call. It's Dr. Roto, DrRoto.com. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X, at Dr. Roto, DrRoto. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Twix?
Yeah.
Interesting. I haven't heard that, but I like it.
Well, if we were a popular show, this would have already taken hold nationally because we've been saying it for literally 3 weeks. But
you are a popular show, and I'm sure it's going to happen inevitably.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's nice. All right. Good talking to you, Doc. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Be well and take care.
All right, Doc, just a general question. Where were you most wrong about the season? What are you most nervous about in your early season predictions of what's gone wrong fantasy-wise?
Me? Wrong? Come on. No, sheesh. Never met a fantasy expert that was wrong a day in his life. I would say Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I think you saw the injury and you said to yourself, he'll be okay. There's no, he'll just stay out in preseason. But, a calf injury is not something to mess with. I mean, it's just really hurt his mobility. I think you can tell he's just getting rid of the ball way too soon. It's not allowing for Higgins and Chase to really make plays. So that downfield offense, those big plays that you just don't see anymore. So I think I have Chase in like 2 different leagues. And should I have taken McCaffrey there? Retrospectively, you better believe I should have. But you sat there and you said, well, McCaffrey always gets hurt. But McCaffrey hasn't gotten hurt as long as he's not hurt. He is literally one of the 2 best players in fantasy football.
21,000 is the text line. And if by chance you're taking us in on Twitch, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, feel free to submit your fantasy football questions for Dr. Roto in our Twitch chat room. All right. Bye weeks now. Got to start really paying attention. Is there one word of advice that you would give, even if it seems obvious?
Yeah, really pay attention when you're setting your rosters because sometimes you could overlook something. This week in particular, I know I have a lot of guys out. I have a lot of guys on the Chargers, a lot of guys in Seattle. But remember, when you're cutting people, don't just run and pick up, let's say, a Steeler because next week the Steelers are on bye. So you want to try to pick up guys right now that may have 2 or 3 weeks in them, but you got to be very careful. This is why you want to have depth in your rosters, and this is why we talk about there's no wasted draft picks. So just be careful with who you're picking up, careful of people offering you trades. Before you click any button thinking this is the best trade ever, is a guy on bye this week, is a guy on bye next week. if he has a bad matchup this week and a bye next week, you're really losing 2 weeks of that guy. So be very careful.
All right, let's get to the questions. I was going to be awful and just ask all of mine, but we'll see if I have time at the end. You may be getting a lot of text me, Roto. I'm in disarray right now at 2-2. Justin Fields or Jared Goff? Who are you starting this week?
Well, I always like starting Jared Goff at home. And Carolina is certainly not a world beater. I mean, Bryce Young has been a major, major disappointment. So I think I tried to make a trade for Jared Goff just yesterday in a league. And some guys I think Detroit's going to be one of the top offenses in the league. This guy may not be wrong. I mean, when you add Jamison Williams, and if he's out there on anybody's waivers, you pick him up right now. The running game looks tremendous with Montgomery. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta is sensational. So very hard for me not to start Goff at home. I like Justin Fields, but this isn't the game against the Commanders. This is not the game where he blows up.
Dolph fan in our Twitch chat room, this seems obvious to me, but what do I know? He's got Herbert on a bye week, so he's debating between Goff or Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, I'm playing Goff. I like a really good job. And what I love about him is that he's played just well enough that Arizona has stayed relevant in games. So look, last week, you would have thought McCaffrey in the third quarter would have been, taken out of the game because they were up by 30. They weren't. Dobbs has kept them in games. So, I have no problem with him as a bye week fill-in, but not over Goff.
I have a trade question here. It says, being offered a trade, he wants Jacobs and Waddle. I would get Etienne and Deebo Samuel. Should I move forward with the trade?
I would not. I'm not buying into, first of all, I'm not buying into the Jaguars right now. I just don't like how they look. There's something off about this team. They were off last year, by the way, too, if you remember the beginning of the season. Trevor Lawrence was awful, and then all of a sudden something clicked. They don't look great. So why am I trading Josh Jacobs, who's getting 1 million carries? And why am I trading Waddle ever? I mean, just because Waddle had a bad week? This is a perfect buy. Whoever made that offer is a genius, because that guy's buying two guys who are buy low candidates, and those are two guys I want now.
SEC Me has 3 Rams, Puka, Kyren Williams, and Cooper Kupp. Should he start all 3 every week?
Yeah, I'd buy a Rams jersey and a Rams hat, and I would just go all in. Because, look, I know they're on the same team. I get that. But the Rams, with Stafford, are a very competitive team. I think I forgot that last year. And that may be another mistake I made, where I did draft Puka in a lot of leagues. I drafted him round 18 of a bunch of leagues because I was a fan. And Kyren too. But when with Stafford out there, they play at a better level. They're not out of any games. Puka is going to be a great number 2 receiver alongside a Kupp. Why can't Kupp have 8 catches, and Puka have 6 each week? Is that not good enough for people? I think it is.
All right. Pick 1 point, a half point PPR. Gibbs, Dobbs, Tank Dell, or Michael Thomas?
Gibbs, Dobbs, Dell, or Thomas. So, look, Gibbs has been the most frustrating player, really has, when you think about it, because you probably spent 3rd or 4th round, draft capital on him, and he just isn't getting a lot of. He's getting DeAndre Swift from last year, where it was like, oh, here's 8 carries. You're like, why isn't this guy getting 15? He's a first-round pick. But at any point, he could explode. Tank Dell is better in games where they're playing from behind. He is like the ultimate garbage time receiver. Not because he's garbage. He's really good. He's just one of those guys that finds a way to get open. But in games where the game script is going the other way, I think it's more of a Nico Collins week. I do like Michael Thomas. I don't like Derek Carr. I don't think he should have been on the field last week. It was obvious he couldn't throw the ball really well. So, he's okay. Dobbs has done a really good job up to this point. But you have a healthy Christian Watson. You have Aaron Jones. I think I'm going to go with Gibbs in a game that should be – the Lions are projected to score like 28 points by Vegas. Maybe Gibbs gets a touchdown.
Aren't you expecting the Lions to start to use Gibbs the way the Dolphins are Achane?
Yeah, but Achane is even better than Gibbs. And I know I can't believe I'm saying that he is.
But, is that just a miscalculation everybody had then? Because when the Dolphins took him in the 3rd round, people were surprised they took him that high.
They were. So here's a couple of things. Firstly, if you remember years ago when the Saints took Alvin Kamara, he was the third running back. And that lasted about 5 weeks before he became the starter. If you watched Achane in college, you knew how good he was, right? And down here, we should have known, right? Because we see SEC football all the time. You're watching UF on TV. You're watching them play Texas A&M. Then people, when they didn't trade for Dalvin Cook, who, by the way, signed Dalvin Cook. If the Dolphins signed Dalvin Cook now, what idiots would they have been? Because Achane is 10 times better than – he's like an old – Dalvin Cook ran like this years ago. This isn't the new Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook now is slow. So I think what I do is I trust Mike McDaniel, who is a really good play caller, and I think it is going to be a mess when Jeff Wilson comes back. That's the problem, because McDaniel has history with Mostert and Wilson, and he can't just bench them. So he's going to play all three guys, but that's really not what you want to be doing here. You want to give Achane about 60% of those touches if you can. But Gibbs is getting lost in the shuffle, but I've got to believe at some point he will carve out like 12 touches a week. And he could do a lot with those 12 touches.
Another trade proposal. Mozart and Daniel Jones for Mike Evans. Would you do it?
Who am I getting?
You're getting Mozart and Jones for Mike Evans.
I mean, let me just go through that. I'm not sure why I want Mostert right now when I have a three-headed Hydra, and I know I don't want Daniel Jones. And I'm just telling you a little insider information that I got from the Giant insider. Giants aren't surprised by this. The Giants knew that this was going to be a struggle this year. They know their roster is not very good. Just throwing something out here. You watched Dable last year. Remember Dable last year, like screaming at the guys on the sidelines, like really yelling at them. This year, he's just kind of like walking around going, it almost feels like, I'm not that he's not thinking that he's not angry, but he's not yelling at people because he knows how bad a train wreck this is.
Keith in our Twitch chat room, he has Waller as a tight end. He's wondering, should he trade Miles Sanders for Kittle?
No, because Kittle hasn't been really used very much in this offense either. So the problem is with a team like the 49ers, you have to feed McCaffrey. You've got Debo. Ayuk is really stepping up. Now you got Kittle too. So it's almost too many guys. Like Miles Sanders is not great, but you know he's getting the football when he's healthy. Now I don't think he's 100% healthy, but when he is, he's going to get the football. I actually like Waller this week. I think that Mark's going to ask me about a DFS play, and I'm going to tell you I think Waller's the shocking play of the week because nobody on planet Earth wants to play him. And when nobody on planet Earth wants to play somebody, that's when a guy actually does something.
And that was my streaming tight end question that just went away. All right, pick one for PPR. Mozart, Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Kirk, or Jonathan Taylor if he plays. Pick one.
I don't think Jonathan Taylor plays yet. I think everybody's still trying to figure out what's going on with Jonathan Taylor. Is he there? Is he going to be traded? What's happening? I'm not sure we know that. If that changes, then obviously I'm playing Jonathan Taylor. I have no problem playing Stevenson. I don't. I think he's okay. I think I'd play Kirk. Kirk is certainly in play. I think that game is going to be very high scoring. Vegas has it like, almost like a 49 spot, so he's been consistent. Mostert is that guy right now where you just don't know. And it's not that he's not good. It's that where's Achane? How is it going to shake out? Hill and Waddle, this feels like a Hill and Waddle game to me. They didn't do that much in the last game, and you have to feed those guys. So I think Mostert's my third choice there. I'll go Stevenson 1, Kirk 2, Mostert 3.
All right. Got 2-3 minutes here. Nell Skyer wants to know Vikings running back, Cam Akers or Madison?
I think it's Madison getting 60%, Akers getting 40.
And finally, a question here. This guy said, I've been stashing Fournette. Is it time to cut bait?
It is time to cut bait because if he hasn't been signed at this point, I'm not sure where he's going and when.
Yeah, All Risk wants to be able to pick him up.
Yeah, it's All Risk wants to know Aaron Jones or Kyren Williams.
Well, that's a great question. I think as of this second, I'm probably playing Aaron Jones. I love Kyren, but the Eagles' run defense is tremendous, except the Eagles do let up a ton of receptions to opposing running backs. And Kyren Williams does well in that department. So I think I'm playing Aaron Jones, but it's a lot closer than you think.
You got a DFS smash play this week for us, Roto?
Yeah, I think there's two games you want to be a part of, and I think you want to be part of the Minnesota Kansas City game. I think you have to be all in on that, and I think you have to be all in on the Dolphins. So be in on the Dolphins, Chiefs, and Vikings, and I think you're going to a sneaky Chiefs receiver is going to win somebody $1 million, whether it's Tony or Rashee Rice or Marquez Valdez-Scantling, whichever one of those dudes gets 2 touchdowns, that's going to win people money.
All right. JB Vike wants to know, Kincaid got dropped in his league. Would you roster him over Musgrove or Ferguson?
No. I like him, but not over them.
Is Logan Thomas a good play tonight?
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, Sam Howell likes throwing to him. He's a big dude. He could get 4 catches for like 30 yards. Nothing wrong with that.
And a final question from Tim in our Twitch chat room. Quarterback choice, Trevor Lawrence, Russell Wilson.
I'll go Trevor Lawrence in a game that could be really high scoring.
Thanks,
Dr.
Doc.
Roto.
Have a great week, guys. Good luck, all right?
Dr. Roto, drroto.com, drroto.com, and that's how you follow him on Twix. And he kind of liked that. Okay, Twitter/X. You follow him at Dr. Roto, DRROTO. He joins us every Thursday at this time. He makes his weekly house call. This is our one fantasy segment a week. This is it.
I like how much you've gotten into this segment because you've handled the Twitch chat room where there are far more questions. You beat the people up during the breaks that are trying to submit 2 and 3 questions. Only 1 per user.
Yes. Come on, we've got rules, damn it. You only get 1. So which one do you really want answered? Because I'll ask them all. You saw me at the end. Mark's looking at me like, really? You have another question? I'm like, yes. Tim sent in a question. I'm getting it answered.
And we got your questions answered like we do every week with the good doctor here on Miller and Moulton. Hope you enjoy the advice he gives you. Hope it's helping you win your fantasy games. I have sent him a personal question about an hour before kickoff before. That's on me.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Life Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlifetransportation.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So 9 o'clock and still nobody's here. Huh. Interesting. Because I know they're gone at 3. Because I come over at 3:15 for a reason, to check the mail every day. And they ain't here. And I've gotten here at 3:15 and the truck's just pulling out and what have you. So I know 3 o'clock's their go time.
One more hour.
How much more work do they have to do?
A lot. A lot.
We are back in about 40 seconds, fellas.
These two just had their own. I don't know what the hell was going on. Was that an NBA podcast that went on in there? Or?
Pretty much. Are we loud today? Should we shut the door?
No, not at all. You guys were just going at it there. I figured if Felipe was that engaged, it had to be NBA talk.
We were in agreement. We're talking about the Knicks. We're having a lot of good conversation in here. We're hitting it off.
Well, Trent here is a Lions season ticket holder.
Trent's dad's a Lions nut. Has been forever.
5 seconds.
Now that's a cue.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton on this Thursday, the first such Thursday of October. Can you feel fall in the air?
Certainly felt it this morning, David. Around 72 degrees when I got up. Little crispness in the air.
Apparently in Jacksonville, it's going to be in like the low 50s on Sunday morning. All right. My wife's complaining. Like, you're the one that moved us here. I mean, we can go back where it's warmer. Of course, we don't have any place to live. And I'm spending all our money refurbishing the place we're currently living in. But I mean, if you want warmer, I could do warmer. So, of course, heading to Vegas where it's going to be in the low 90s this weekend. So, got that going.
When do you get into Vegas, by the way?
Sunday morning at like 9 a.m. I got a full day in Vegas. Yeah. I got a full day.
That's dangerous.
Yep. Yeah.
You gonna put a futures bet on your Rangers?
Boy, that's a tough question. I've seen just as many people picking them to miss the playoffs as I do having a deep run.
Okay, and I don't care. I'm asking a simple question. It's your team. You're out in Vegas before the season starts.
Yeah.
Are you going to make a future bet on your team to win the cup?
Totally. Absolutely, I'm going to.
I think it's worth putting $20 down. I don't know what the odds are on the Rangers for the Stanley Cup, but
I don't either.
$5.
I may do something actually, which I can't believe I'm going to do. I may actually throw a bet on the Devils too. All right. Like the Devils. I wish they got Hollebuck. I wish they had a goalie, though. They can't win the cup with their goaltending. Come on. I know a goalie's teams have won cups recently without a great goalie, but they don't even have a good one. Come on. Anyway, NHL gets underway Tuesday with a triple header. First game of the season's in Tampa. Thank you very much. So Vegas, the defending Stanley Cup champions. I feel it's important sometimes to also point out the Astros, the defending World Series champions. I mean, how quickly we forget. We focus only on football.
It has been a weird year already in football in that and it's kind of a good thing because when we've had some good NFL weekends, the college weekend's been a little lackluster. This weekend, we've got a great slate of college football games. From an NFL standpoint, we've got a Sunday morning game that's intriguing with Jacksonville and Buffalo. We've got a Sunday night game that's really intriguing with Dallas and the Niners. And the NFL schedule will deliver, but when you just look at the games, you got Baltimore and Pittsburgh, but does Pittsburgh look like a team that can score 20 points in an NFL football game right now?
No, but you, of all people, having married into this rivalry and having followed it closely before then, both teams have entered this game in various states of disrepair in the past, but this game brings out the best in both teams.
Do you know what the over-under is for this game?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say 39.5.
37.5.
Wow.
Think about that for an NFL game.
Well, they have seen Pickett.
Right.
Play,
They're telling you it's 20-16, by the way. I mean, that's what they're basically saying the final is.
And they've seen Matt Canada's play calling too, so I could see where they're leaning under, at least on that side of the ball. Is this a chance, by the way, for Baltimore to kind of take control of the division that we thought was just going to be brutal in how good everyone was going to be? And right now, the Bengals are 1-3, and no one has confidence in them going forward, including the Bengals right now, by the way. Even Joe Burrow said, we need to win this week for morale. When's the last time you heard an elite quarterback say that about a really good team, which we all thought Cincinnati was 10 minutes ago? We need to win this game for our morale.
And a lot, like we talked about the Dolphins investing so much in their offensive line, the Bengals have gone out and spent on their offensive line. They've gotten free agents, and they still can't protect Burrow.
Well, he's hurt. I mean, it's obvious, and it's affected him. All right. Dr. Roto's point of he's not holding on to the ball as long, so they're not getting the ball downfield like they used to. Jamar Chase went public last week. Jamar Chase said, "I'm always open." That's my diva wide receiver.
The game that has no interest from a lot of people that I will pay a little bit of attention to is the Jets and the Broncos. Because this Sean Payton train wreck that's going on in Denver is fascinating. And if they lose to the Jets, after all the smack that Sean Payton talked about how poorly they were coached a year ago, that would fascinate me if the Jets win that football game. And it's not like the Broncos defense has been very good, David.
No, but the Broncos, in a way, both teams coming off their best performances of the year. I mean, you could argue even in defeat, did the Jets play their best game of the year? I know they won week 1 against Buffalo. Their defense was great that night. But, offensively, they were a mess. I mean, Josh Allen threw that game away with 3 turnovers, all in the second half. Did the Jets just play their best game of the year? Well, we know the Broncos just did because they won. And they overcame a 21-point deficit to do it. Mark, I'll actually take it and spin it the other way. I think it breaks the Jets if they lose. I mean, remember, supposedly they now have a quarterback. 2 hours a quarterback makes, apparently. That's all it took was 2 hours. He's now the second overall pick from 2 drafts ago. Okay, this is our future. We don't need another quarterback. He's our quarterback. He's outstanding. He finally figured it out, and it's onward and upward, but here. Yeah, okay, what if they go lose? In theory, if they lose, he will not have played well, right? I mean, this ain't the Chiefs. This is the Broncos. So if they don't win, he probably has played or worse. That, to me, is dangerous. They come out of Denver 1-4. They may be emotionally cooked.
Even with Aaron Rodgers announcing the comeback is moving along rapidly. He is going to do what no other man has ever been able to do, and that's come back from Achilles injury in the shortest time ever needed.
Yeah, if I'm the Jets, by the way, listen, I appreciate all this and what have you, but, dude, I need you 100% for the rest of your career. Okay? I mean, do not rush this, please.
Well, they'll have the final say. It won't be Aaron Rodgers. But if they're in a position where it's late in the season and they're sitting at 8-7.
Yeah,
7-8.
I understand. No, they'll force the issue. 7-8, they'll probably let them stay home. But 8-7, it'll be like, okay, we can make the playoffs from here. Because I think you have to count on 10 as the number this year in the AFC. I mean, could be wrong. I mean, could turn into the National League where all of a sudden 2 teams make it with 84 wins. But I think you have to assume the number's 10 until proven otherwise.
Boy, that's fascinating in and of itself. I mean, because you're with the Bills, the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Chiefs are 3-1. That's it. Everybody else is 500 or worse in the entire conference.
No, they're all beating each other up. It's true. It's true.
And the Steelers, who are 2-2, don't look like the football team we thought they were going to be.
Not yet, but at least they're 2-2.
The Bengals are 1-3. Hard pressed to get to 10 right now, the way that football team's playing. Maybe a team from the South gets to 10. Do you think 2 from the South get to 10?
No, but I'll tell you what. Is it possible with all the other conferences or divisions, I should say, in the AFC beating each other up? Could the South steal a wild card if they win the right games, if you know what I mean? I mean, Mark, the Colts are 2-2. The Titans are 2-2. The Texans are 2-2. Don't the Titans and Colts play each other this week? One of them's going to be 3-2. Don't the Texans play the Falcons?
At the Falcons, and they're a 2-point underdog.
I mean, right now, which quarterback would you rather have?
Oh, come on.
Well, I'm just saying
That's not even a real question.
Well, it is, because the one guy is in his second year. The one guy's in his fifth game.
Yeah, the guy in his fifth game looks like he can flat out play.
Yes, he does.
And that's with a banged-up offensive. I mean, we're talking about all these banged-up offensive lines and how Burrow's playing because his O-line's not good and he's hurt. How guys are having trouble because of their offensive lines all over the league. And here's a rookie quarterback with a banged-up offensive line getting it done.
And what if Houston goes into Atlanta and wins? Now, all of a sudden, if the Houston Texans turn this sucker around overnight.
And we're expecting Jacksonville to lose Sunday morning.
We are. Bill's home game, for whatever it's worth. I'll be curious to see the breakdown of the crowd because the Jags have been over there for a week already, and they do have a following.
The Bills have a mafia.
I understand. But, they've got to want to go. It costs money,
I understand that. Because I think 50% of the fans at these games are just neutral. They're NFL fans. They're American NFL fans that live overseas and say, I want to go see an NFL game. So that means there's 50% of the crowd that's up for fandom, if you will. I think 30 plus is Bills fans.
I agree. I mean, it is a Bills home game. I think there will be more Bills fans. I just think that there will be maybe more fans for the away team than there normally is, because I agree with you. I think over half the crowd is just Americans getting their hands on an NFL game ticket. They want to go. And let's face it, if we lived over there, we'd be there too. Absolutely, we'd be there. At least one of them. I'm telling you. We're going to have a 9:30 a.m. game coming up here in a couple years. We're going to have like 10 of them. A streaming company is going to pay $1 billion, $100 million a game. We're going to have like 10 9:30 games.
By the end of the decade, I think you're right, David. Miller and Moulton, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was the day when. What's on tap? That's 25 minutes away right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts
baby.
E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Steve Miller is 80 today, and he's playing Hertz Arena like next week.
What is Steve Miller's best song? A lot of good answers here. That could be a poll question.
The Joker.
Classic.
But it's close. There are a lot of good songs there.
Take the Money and Run.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? What's the one I'm thinking of? You know what?
I wonder if Felipe doesn't know. He doesn't know who you're talking about right now.
I know Steve Miller, but I'm not.
I'm amazed you know who Steve Miller is.
I could look this up, but it's going to bother me.
Song. My answer is Joker because it's one of the only ones I know off the top of my head.
That got to our generation because it was on Guitar Hero.
Oh, okay.
That song was.
Take the money and run.
That was said, yeah. Do you know that Mario Lemieux and Patrick Waugh were born on the same day?
Some talent there.
Yeah. Oh, is it December? Okay. I knew it was. I got something in a text that said he was coming. Okay. It's December next week, whatever. He's 80. 80.
That makes him perfect for Southwest Florida. But you know,
I mean, but think about that. I mean, could you imagine our mothers going out and doing an hour-and-a-half concert?
hell, I can barely get her out to breakfast. But you know, that's not true. As long as we go to the bagel shop in Metuchen, right, Mom?
Mom's only concern with the surgeries, by the way, was making sure she was going to be healthy enough to go on her cruise in 3 weeks and her trip in December. Brought it up 3 times.
Got plans. Which means she's got nothing planned for 2024, right? She's
Not
just,
a thing. No.
Right.
She's going on a cruise here in a couple, 3 weeks, and then we're going to Pittsburgh for Christmas. So she's leaving the country with like 3 girlfriends. They're going to, I don't know, some Caribbean island somewhere.
And my mom's painted it damn right, she said. Good morning, Mom. By the way, 9:20, contractor's still not here.
Oh, boy.
1 minute till we're back.
Yep. Yep. Who are you? I'm the guy who pays for this. Yeah. Yep. And I know what time you guys left yesterday.
$30 seconds.
I got this one, by the way.
All right.
I got it. Unless you got something you want to do.
No.
Start working on the good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap?
All done.
Going, okay.
We're all done.
I'm just kidding.
Already ready.
Just figured Peacock might have thrown you.
You know, no, because that's the other thing. Now they remind both my daughter and wife. Did you get your work done yet?
Just leave me alone, okay?
Been doing this show for 20 years without any help from you.
Right. Just, you don't listen. You don't support us. Just
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
the Diamond District bonus hour, exclusive to the 239. That's how much we love you. We do this show for you. Trust me when I tell you, we are not doing it for us. Okay? We are doing it for you. Our base, our beloved audience in the 239. Without you guys, we wouldn't have a show, and we're very grateful to you. And that is why we do the bonus hour. The Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton. Okay. This is the danger that you run into when I say to you during the break, you got anything? And you go, no, because then you have to play along.
A little late in the show for yes, no, maybe so, David.
No, it is not. No, it is not. It is time now for yes. No,
maybe
so. Okay. We have 8 3-1 teams, or excuse me, 8 1-3 teams. My bad. 8 1-3 teams. We actually have 10 teams that are 3-1 or better. 4 in the AFC, as Mark pointed out last segment. 6 in the NFC. You damn near have to be 3-1 to make the playoffs right now in the NFC. For the record, the 2-2 team that would win the tiebreaker and be the 7th seed right now in the NFC, your Atlanta Falcons. The 3 2-2 teams who today would be the wild cards in the AFC are the Steelers, the Texans, and the Browns. It all has to do with conference record and where they are in the division and what have you. Okay, 8 1-3 teams. I assume that for the 2 0-4 teams, the Bears and the Panthers, that the answer is obvious. No. But with yes, no, maybe so, the 3 possible answers, the question is, do you still have belief in these teams? New England.
No.
The Jets.
No.
So you're not even a maybe so.
No.
Okay, I'm just saying they go to Denver, get a win. They're 2-3. We talked about the whole offseason. The Jets' first 6 games were hard. After that, their schedule for like 2 months is really doable. And remember, Mark, they now have a franchise quarterback.
I know. I'm not ready to make that jump just yet, but thanks
Mark,
for the offer.
You read the New York Post app every day. Tell me he is not Joe Namath now reincarnated.
Well, yeah, they're going to want Joe to make a retraction from the things he said after the way he played for a couple of quarters.
Right, exactly. 2 hours, and now they have a franchise quarterback. Cincinnati. May I remind you of what you said the Cincinnati Bengals would do this year?
Stop it! Now, I didn't know when I just let you have carte blanche in this segment you were going to beat me about the head with my Bengals. Maybe so. I have to give them a maybe so. I did pick them to win the damn Super Bowl.
I can't believe it wasn't a yes. The question was simply, do you still have belief?
Maybe so.
Wow. You are shaken.
It's the Swiftie curse.
There's no doubt. She has done a number on you.
On me?
Yeah. Well, she's totally messed Felipe up. My goodness, the expletives he was using yesterday and just the people he put on the I hate you list. I mean, man, she has messed him up. They haven't even dated. The Raiders.
No.
The Broncos.
Hell no.
Well, okay. I'm just curious. Jets, Broncos this week. Who will you be picking? Because one of them will get to 2-3.
I'm picking the Broncos.
Okay. Really? So, and yet you're still a no.
I am.
Okay, fair enough. Now to the NFC. Giants.
That's a no.
That's a hell no.
You're damn right it is.
Arizona.
That's a no.
The Vikings.
It's a maybe so, but they're damn near going to need to pull off a miracle and beat the Chiefs this week to get that into the maybe so, because they're about to be 1-4 if they don't beat the Chiefs on Sunday.
Well, and as we just pointed out, right now there are 6 teams lined up in the NFC, 3-1 or better. I mean, we all know who, you got the Eagles, you got the Niners, you got Dallas. Tampa Bay is leading their division at 3-1. Detroit's leading their division at 3-1. Seattle's won 3 in a row as the second place team in the West at 3-1. So right now there's only that one dangling 2-2 wild card spot. It's why I think, Mark, they can lose this week and they're still a maybe so. Remember, the Lions were 1-6 last year.
Right.
Before finishing 9-8. I think the Vikings could lose this week, be 1-4, and still be a maybe so. So you've got 2 maybe so's, no yeses. No yeses. So of the 10, of the 10 teams that are 1-3 or 0-4, not a single one you have belief in. There's only 2 of the 10 that you're like, I'm not ready to totally write them off.
How many yeses are you giving on the same question? Who are you giving? You're giving a yes to Minnesota.
No, actually, I'm not giving a yes to, well, if I were to play it, say, do I still have belief in them? I have some belief in them.
So that's a maybe so.
That is. Okay.
The 3 NFC teams, the Giants are a hell no. The Cardinals are a no.
I still have belief in the Bengals.
Belief.
Yeah, I have belief in the Bengals. They're a game out of the playoffs. A game. Mark, it's Joe Burrow. Is there anyone in the NFL that I have more of a man crush over than Joe Burrow?
No.
Okay.
No, there's not, David.
Thank you.
But this is an injured Joe Burrow.
I understand that, Mark.
And the looks of it are as he's going to be an injured Joe Burrow for the entire season.
Yeah, maybe. But when you have Mark, I still have a soft spot for Noreen Ziegler, for goodness sakes. Okay, haven't seen her in 35 years. I mean, you think I'm going to abandon Joe Burrow just because he's got a bad calf and Jamar Chase is yelling at him? Here's the funny thing. This was supposed to be his best offensive line. Hell, they cut Lyle Collins. Their line was so good, right? We don't need this guy. Well, you needed him last year. We don't need him this year. That's how good we are. Really? So I think there's a chance that this team's just needs a little more time. They got a veteran staff. They've been together a while. It's their 4th year together on both sides of the ball. I think the Bengals are still in play. So I got 1 yes. Okay. And the winner of Denver and the Jets, I'll give them it. Okay.
So you basically give them both a maybe so through the week.
Yeah.
One will go to a no, one will go to a yes.
Correct. So there.
I'll have to bookmark this segment here to see if one of these 1-3 teams can find themselves and find a run.
Yeah.
I mean, you pointed out Detroit. Fact of the matter is, no matter how good the run was, they ended up short of the playoffs.
I understand, but 9-8 though. I mean, and right now there are a lot of you out there who still think that 9-8 is going to get you in the playoffs. I don't see how if a team's 1-3, you don't think they can finish 9-8. That's only going 8-5 the rest of the way. I mean, that's not great. That's just good.
It's Miami Marlins good. It's what it is.
Exactly.
So it can be done. Right.
And then, or it could be Arizona Diamondbacks good. Both had 84 wins. Their weeks went a little differently so far, though.
They definitely have. No baseball tonight. We've got the Commanders and the Bears.
The
good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was a day when what's on tap. It's how we finish things off on Miller and Moulton.
Invite you to join them Saturday, October 7th and Sunday the 8th as Veraccio, one of America's top bridal designers, joins the Diamond District with their entire collection of stunning engagement and wedding rings. Veraccio has always been on the forefront of design, and during this event, they'll unveil their newest and much anticipated exclusive designer fashion jewelry collection. Jason and Todd are excited to meet you personally Saturday the 7th and Sunday the 8th. And with your purchase of any Veraccio jewelry priced at $2,500 or more, you'll receive a free pair of 1-carat total diamond weight stud earrings valued at $1,500. Jason and Todd are also offering 12 months interest-free financing. This event kicks off the fall season at the Diamond District in a big way. With your Veragio purchase of $2,500 or more, you'll receive free 1-carat total diamond weight stud earrings. Jason and Todd look forward to meeting you and welcoming you to their Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
It is pretty funny, me and my kid trying to FU one another with fantasy football trades back and forth. I've gotten a kick out of my responses to his trades and his responses to mine.
By the way, Mark, with maybe one of the funniest questions that's ever been asked, either text or Twitch, can we do some fantasy hockey tomorrow?
Yep. That'll be in the post-show podcast, Mark.
On a football Friday in the early fall.
And my fantasy hockey draft is tomorrow night.
We've got a buddy in my league who, first of all, there's 16 teams in my league, so it's
In a
just
fantasy
horrendous.
hockey league?
Fantasy football.
Oh, okay. That's a
And,
good league, 16 teams. I
mean,
like that.
Every quarterback's taken. Every starting quarterback's if you have a backup and a starter. But anyways, we just started this season where you can trade draft picks. We got this guy who is just sending horrendous draft pick trades for like Jamar Chase. Like, dude, that's not going to happen.
If there were draft picks involved, we might get Moulton to join fantasy football.
I mean, it definitely spices things up. It feels more like a GM kind of thing, but we got some clowns.
The puck daddy, Greg Wyshynski, picked Edmonton to win this year. He said he was a year off.
Yep. I think he's got Edmonton, Toronto in the final, I think. He has the Lightning missing the playoffs. He has the Rangers as like the last wild card, I think. He's got the Devils winning the division ahead of the Hurricanes. He has the Kraken missing the playoffs. He has Vancouver making the playoffs. That feels out there for me. He also has like Arizona just missing the playoffs.
Think I'm jumping into hockey this year, where I'm actually going to watch a lot of hockey.
Watch the Wings.
That's That's why I'm jumping back in. They actually have a pulse this year, finally.
The Yzer plan is moving the needle.
You know who I'm torn about? The
Who's that?
Penguins. Because I think they're too old. Everything says they're too old, and I don't like their goaltending. Yet at the same time, golly, they got 2 elite defensemen, and goodness knows they got 2 elite forwards. But I'm worried that they just wasted the last great year of Malkin's career. He was tremendous last year, and he played.
30 seconds, fellas.
But you know how I feel about Crosby.
Yeah, I think your crush on him needs to die this year. I lean with Wyshynski. I think that this is the year that the age sets in.
Well, they have the Penguins making the playoffs. His first line was they missed the playoffs by 2 last year, and let me tell you how they've improved. Erik Karlsson alone puts them in the playoffs. But I don't know. They're old. And he even admitted they're old.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Final segment of the Diamond District bonus hour. Thanks for being with us. Football Friday tomorrow. Lee Sterling makes his picks. Miller and Moulton make their picks. All right. Mark had an out-of-body experience last week. He did. Not good. Not good. Hey, I've had 3 straight winning weeks. Huh? So Miller's had a 3-week winning streak. Moulton with a 3-week winning streak. What the hell? Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Pat Kerwin also on the show. That's how we roll. Although we do have a request, ladies and gentlemen. Mark in our Twitch chat room has asked that since most people that are into hockey are doing their fantasy draft between tonight and Monday night, that tomorrow we do a fantasy hockey draft segment.
That'll kick off at 10:01 a.m. tomorrow. 10:01 a.m. for that. Check your local listings.
Now, remember in our second act, or for the first year of our second act, we did a bonus podcast?
Right.
And we did it for a full year where, the show wasn't enough. We had to give you more. Man, are we dumb?
We've done a lot of things over the years, David, that I can't really explain, but that might be at the top of the list.
That's definitely top 5.
Well, I do laugh because obviously, like every radio show in the country, we put the show out in podcast form. So those of you that are unable to listen during the live hours can catch it whenever you want. But every time I hear a new podcast being launched with this star and that star, it's like, yeah, Miller and Moulton really needed to put that bonus hour out there. I wonder why that didn't take off.
Right. Can't believe it. Man, our listenership's down. Well, it's maybe because you guys are sick of you. Never mind what you think we think of you.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1915, we start today. Ty Cobb steals his 96th base of the season. It would stand as a Major League Baseball record until 1962.
Maury Wills.
Correct. He would end up with 104 that year. 1921, the first Baseball World Series radio broadcast. All New York contest. The Yankees beat the Giants 3-0 at the Polo Grounds. Grantland Rice calls the game, but does so from the studio. He is getting updates by telegraph to do the game.
That's fantastic.
The great WSM AM in Nashville began their radio transmissions today in 1925. Today in 1932, new ownership of the Detroit Falcons. First thing they do, David, name change. The Red Wings, and the winged wheel is introduced.
Good changes.
Meet the Press premieres on radio today in 1945. Who are the guests, David?
You blankety blank.
Game 6 of the World Series today in 47. Brooklyn outfielder Al Gianfrido makes the famous catch off of Joe DiMaggio in Game 6. Dodgers would beat the Yankees, and the catch would inspire the back-to-back-to-back expression.
DiMaggio kicked the dirt in frustration. The only time ever in his career he showed any emotion on the field.
Truman makes the first presidential address that was televised from the White House today in 1947.
And no, I did not watch it.
Today in 1949, we found out that Bobby Jones' rare spinal disease, which would prevent him from ever playing golf again. In 1950, Celtics owner Walter Brown and coach Red Auerbach draw lots out of a hat for 3 members of the defunct Chicago Stags franchise. They would pick Bob Cousy. Jackie Gleason introduces Ralph Cramden of the Honeymooners in a skit in the Cavalcade of Stars today in 1951.
To the moon, Alice! To the moon!
Dr. No, the first Bond film with Sean Connery, released today in 1962, the same day the Beatles released Love Me Do. Today in 1970, the MLB Championship Series both end on the same day with the same score. The Orioles beat the Twins 3-0. The Reds down the Pirates 3-0. The Orioles would go on to win the World Series.
That was the Brooks Robinson World Series.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John is released today in 73. Kevin Stevens from the Penguins has a 2-goal, 4-assist outing in opening night. It is the most points in a season opener by an NHL player. 1991, Fresno State ties an NCAA record with 49 points in the second quarter as they rout New Mexico 94-17. It was today in 94 that they shortened the three-point distance to a uniform 22 feet to help offensive players score more. 2001, Bonds hit 71 and 72 to break McGuire's single-season record.
He would finish with 73.
Today in 01, the Braves become the first pro sports team to clinch 10 straight division titles after beating the Marlins 20-3 to clinch the NL East. The Celtics and Lakers had each won 9 in a row at different times.
Braves were helped out by the strike in 94. The Expos had like a 6 or 7 game lead on them in the East at the time. They would have made the playoffs, but they would have been a wild card.
Today in 03, the Cubs win their first postseason series since the 1908 World Series, beating the Braves in 5. Chester A. Arthur and Ray Kroc, both born today. Ray Kroc, way more important to Moulton than Chester A. Arthur.
I was going to say, you have gone Rutherford B. Hayes and Chester A. Arthur this week. Wow.
They're presidents.
I understand that. But they could have been presidents of the American Legion, as far as most people know. But yes.
Barry Switzer's 86. Steve Miller is 80. Brian Johnson from AC/DC is 76. Bob Geldof is 72. Golfer Laura Davies is 60. Mario Lemieux and Patty Waugh are both 58 years old today. Rex Chapman's 56, Grant Hill's 51, and Travis Kelce is 34. Wonder what Taylor got him for his birthday.
This Enzo Ferrari guy made his debut as a race car driver today in 1919. I wonder if we ever heard anything about Ferraris. Got a lot going on today, actually, Mark. First ever NC-17 film, Henry and June, was released in theaters today in 1990. What else are we going here? The Dalai Lama wins the Nobel Peace Prize today in 89. The New York Times printed the Harvey Weinstein investigation today in 2017. But it was 12 years ago today Steve Jobs died.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
It's a good idea. The good today, we go to Tallahassee and State Rep Chuck Clemens, who filed House Bill 91 on Friday to rename State Road A1A the Jimmy Buffett Memorial Highway.
I like it.
I do too. I think that needs to get done.
Question: the highway or the Key West Airport? Which would you name after him?
I would name A1A. That is more synonymous with Buffett than, I mean, Key West obviously is synonymous, but just A1A, that's the way you get to the Keys. Felipe, you're someone who spent a lot of time in the Keys.
I like where you're thinking with the airport, but the reason why the highway is better is because you can have the top down listening to Jimmy Buffett.
There you go.
While you're driving down the highway.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
For the bad, we go to the wedding in Nebraska where a grandfather who was officiating a wedding is now in trouble after shooting his grandson. Michael Gardner had a blank in the gun and he was going to get the wedding off to a bang. Apparently he had put some glue on the back of the casing of this blank gun and it discharged early and he shot his grandson. Fortunately, his grandson left with a minor injury. He will be fine. Grandpa went to jail. Don't you have to take the under on this marriage? Starting that way?
By the way, what do you list it as? You have to list it as a good enough number to get bets on both sides. I mean, the over-under could be Tuesday.
For the ugly, we go to the Villages in Florida.
What?
Where Reginald Kinser was arrested after stockpiling erectile dysfunction medications and was accused of planning on distributing them. The 77-year-old had more than $1,800 in ED drugs sent to him that he got without a prescription from a licensed doctor.
Tell you what, it's in the right neighborhood. He'd make a fortune.
What do you got? You got any blow? No, but I've got some Viagra. Hell yeah, baby! Woohoo! And that is,
I don't even think you hide that. I just think you walk around the Villages. You might as well, have a shopping cart.
Put a sticker on your golf cart. ED meds for sale.
Yep.
Most popular guy in the Villages right there.
Hell, I'd put those signs in the grass telling people where to meet me.
Add a couple pineapples. We've got a party. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, October the 5th, 2023.
We have no baseball today.
No, we do not.
And no baseball tomorrow. Also, it seems like a missed opportunity. We have football tonight. We have the Bears and the Commanders. Washington favored by 6. Commanders go to 3-2, by the way, with the win. They did go 8-1 last year with some of the worst quarterback play in the league. I mean, they nearly just beat the Eagles. They were a play away from beating the Eagles in Philadelphia. Could this team maybe be a little better than we think we give them credit for? Is it possible? No? Okay. All right.
They're a really physical team.
Yeah, they got 4.
To play the Eagles that tough, you've got to be a physical team, and they were.
And they got 4 first-round picks on the defensive line. They got a running back. They got a receiver. I mean, they'll probably go as far as Sam Howell takes them. He did lead them down the field and throw a touchdown pass on the last play of regulation to send that game in overtime. He has had moments this year. His first full year as a starter. I'm wondering if maybe we're sleeping on these guys a little bit. Now watch them lose to the Bears.
Well, I'm going to take the Bears in the points tonight.
Look at you. Over-under's 44.5. So with a 6-point spread, we're talking about 25-19, right around there. So place your bets accordingly.
I like the Bears +6. Don't ask me why. I just think there'll be a little bit of, I don't think the Washington's a good enough team to play 2 good football games consecutively.
I do think Fields' mobility will help him tonight. If that O-line has trouble with the D-line, they'll need Fields to run and keep drives alive and what have you. There's some college football tonight too. I mean, so if you don't want to stream or, you just, the Bears and the Commanders not doing it for you.
So Sam Houston State and Liberty's going to get it done for you?
Come on, Mark. I set it up. Did you have to treat me like a piñata?
Give me Liberty and lay the points. 21's the number tonight, David.
Yeah, that's a big number. Well, Sam Houston's 0-4 and Liberty's 4-0. It's on CBS Sports Network at 7:00.
The other game's Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech. That's on ESPNU.
And Western Kentucky is the 6-point favorite. So there you go. That's what we got tonight. There's no MLS. There's no baseball. Hockey doesn't start till Tuesday. Man, I'll tell you what, if you're college football, I know you've given up on Thursday nights. Is this maybe the one Thursday that you got to think of? How many game 3s are we going to have going forward? All right. No guarantee. I mean, the Amazon schedule is the worst TV schedule that the NFL has. Is this where you maybe try to schedule one decent Thursday night game?
I don't think there's a Power 5 school that wants to do it anymore, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, you could probably get the American to play along. Could you get the Big 12 to play along? Or the revamped ACC when that happens? Football Friday tomorrow.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury,